Hi. How are we? How's everyone doing? Welcome. All right, there we go. Welcome everyone on TikTok. How are you guys? If you can hear me, please let me know. If you can hear me and see me all right before we go ahead and get started, just give me a thumbs up over there. Same thing. Okay, very good. On YouTube, so I'm hearing yes. Thank you, Vanessa, that you can hear me and see me all right. Welcome everyone on Instagram. Same thing. If you could let me know, that would be greatly appreciated. And welcome everyone on Facebook. Welcome back. We were not able to hook up our other page, so I was just able to retrieve the Ivy League Psychic Academy business page, but we ran out of time to hook it up tonight. So hopefully for tomorrow's show, what is my hair doing here? Hopefully for tomorrow's show, we'll have that going as well. All right, very good. All platforms are working. Thank you, Diana. All right, and tonight we are doing July horoscopes. So thank you so much, you guys, for supporting this test show. You guys had voted it in. We tested it out for June, and you guys just stayed it up. All right, so I have added it to the show lineup. So once a month, I'll be doing the horoscopes for each zodiac sign for the following month. And then if it continues to get good feedback, I'll go ahead and maybe do bi-weeklies. And then if that were to go really well, I'll get into weeklies maybe. Okay, we're going to keep our options open here. But tonight is going to be July horoscopes for each zodiac sign. This is any placement at all. And then we're doing Q&A at the end. So you could drop your $10 donation, ask your question on anything goes. I don't need your time of birth, your place of birth, your birth information, your sun, moon, rising. I don't need any of that. You could just go ahead and ask your question. However, if you are referring to someone or something very specific, do include the first name or the initials. Okay, we do have a couple of quick announcements while we let everyone tune in. We have the Margin Manor Psychic Fair is coming up this Sunday. Pre-booking is now open with myself and the readers from the Ivy League Psychic Academy. So you can go onto my website, Ivy Rivera, psychicmedium.com. Thank you for the hearts on TikTok. Okay, so you can pre-book with your reader up to 3 slots per person, or you could try your hand at a walk-in. Also, I am looking for, I don't know if this was created, Diana. I don't know if you're going to be able to pop it up, but you guys, we've started an early bird wait list for the psychic mediumship course for 2027. So a bunch of people have been inquiring. I do not have it up on the website yet, and I haven't opened registration. So the easiest thing for you to do is to get on the early bird wait list for that, because once registration opens, seats are going to fill fast. It is limited. It is also first come, first served. So if you want to get on the wait list for that, you can comment below. I should be able to see that, or you can email me at revivrivera@yahoo and just mark it as like early bird psychic mediumship course 27. Okay, something like that. And it's always evergreen. Okay, I understand though, a lot of you don't want to do evergreen right now. You feel like you want to have more organic learning, more group interaction. You want to be with more of the like-minded. That's wonderful. We haven't really been in that state of mind for about 5 to 6 years. So I see fewer people wanting the evergreen option and more people wanting the group class. So happy to, bring it back. Happy to see that growing. And that's what registration will be for. But if you prefer to learn on your own, Evergreen is always available. Okay, that's also just up on the website. We also have, tomorrow is my love and relationships show. So if you haven't already done so, get your early questions in now. And this could be on any type of relationship. It is going to be unlimited. Do include the first name or the initials of whoever it is that you're referring to. So we'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Where am I? People are always asking. This is the 1882 Victorian Funeral Home, originally the Francis Rhodes House. We are now the Ivy League Psychic Academy. We are on the Haunted History Trail of New York State, the Historical Trail of Chautauqua County. So if you're into the paranormal aspect of things, you can sleep here, have a haunted sleepover experience with up to 25 of your friends. You can also book your group for a ghost hunt. And sometimes we have solo travelers coming through here, or just like a group of two, you know, a couple coming through. So those are all options. You have to pay a little bit more, of course. Okay, there is a minimum fee, but yeah, get your group in here for a ghost hunt, a haunted sleepover. And if you're not into the paranormal aspect, but you love history, you love architecture, you can book your group for a historical tour as well. So check us out up on my website, ivyriverapsychicmedium.com. Or you can go to hauntedhistorytrailofnewyorkstate.com and look us up there under Ivy League Psychic Academy. Is that everything we needed to announce? I think so, because we just had a bunch of classes finish up. So I think we're actually done with a bunch of stuff. I feel like I can't tell what my hair is doing tonight. It's kind of humid, so I'm sure it'll get interesting, no doubt. I want to write down real quick the zodiac signs, because for the million times I've been through them, I still seem to not be able to remember. Okay, so we go Aries, Taurus. Let's see if I can get it right. Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Sag, Scorpio, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. Is that accurate? Oh, who did that? Okay, thank you so much. Oh, look at you. You got emojis and everything, and damn. All right, Taurus. Aries. Okay, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo. Holy shit, I got it right. Libra? No way. Or wait a minute, Libra. Oh, I got these two mixed. All right, Scorpio. I was close. I was so close. Sag, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. Okay. Thank you. All right. And what are we doing? What planet am I on? We are in July. Okay. So we're doing July 2027. All right. Let's get into it. Welcome, everyone. I'm Ivy Rivera. I'm a psychic medium, Taino Airwalk. This is my horoscope show for July, all zodiac signs, all placements, July 2027. We are going to just go in order. And at the end of the show, I'll be doing a Q&A. So if you have a personal question, and no, I don't need your birth information or your zodiac sign information, you can drop your $10 donation and your question. Any type of question goes. It is unlimited tonight. And Diana, my beautiful producer, will be taking your questions, popping them up on the screen here on YouTube at Ask Ivy the Medium if you want to see your name on the screen. Also, if you have to post and ghost, it's not an issue. Go ahead and do that. This will get published within about 24 hours exclusively on YouTube at Ask Ivy the Medium with timestamps. So you can watch your reading then or go back and watch it again. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. Are we ready? We got Aries up. All right. Aries, July 2027. What is coming up for Aries in the area first of love and relationships? Love and relationships for Aries. July. Yeah, you got like a frog in your throat. You got a frog in your throat. The second week, but just because it's coming to a head in the second week doesn't mean it wasn't there. Clearly it has been. And if you're really paying attention, or you're open to resolving it early, that could be done as soon as the first week of the month. So it feels like what's happening here is a sort of buildup of energy. I also have someone's, the symbol of someone trying to pound words in your mouth or put words in your mouth or pound their fist. You know, it's kind of like down your throat. And I think what's really happening here is that you're going to find yourself dealing with someone who doesn't want to hear you say anything to them other than what they want you to say. That's it. Okay. So it's like you can either speak to me and say it exactly with the way I want to hear it, or I don't want to hear it at all. Now, a lot of this may be coming from a work environment. This could be someone you have shared resources with in any capacity. So for some of you, maybe even an annoying client or something like that. For others, this is happening in a love affair. And for other people, this could be a family dynamic, you know, someone who's just always jumping down your throat, you know, they're always hammering you about something. I think, though, we do have to take some responsibility for the fact that we didn't clearly communicate, we didn't thoroughly communicate when we could have. So this is what happens when we don't set proper boundaries when we should have. If this was someone who was obnoxious, childlike, immature, off the rails, and you allowed it, you held space for it, you let them act entitled, you even fed it with your time, attention, energy, affection, you reciprocated in any way. Okay, this is sort of the monster that has been created from that. So I see that coming to a head. The second week, you're going to have to officially set those boundaries the way that they should have been set. So you may be cutting someone off once and for all. It's up to you how you guys deal with it. For those of you that are open to taking a significant partnership and locking it down, or for those of you that are open to new love, but in a more meaningful type of relationship. Aries, you're looking very grown up to me this month. So, you know, it's not always your style to get locked down, but in the third week, many of you seem to be accepting that ring, offering that ring, cohabitating. Let's get monogamous. Let's get it on. I'm here. What was that? Barry White. It's like, but it's not just sexual, you know, and maybe for you it normally is. It's like, it's just sexual and then I never see him again. Who? What was their name? People are like, you dated that guy for 3 months. It's like, who? Which one? You know, I think you are, I don't even just want to say willing. I think you are eager. I think you are very open, excited, okay, to get heavily involved with someone in a meaningful way that essentially eliminates others, okay? At the very least, let's just put it that way, okay? Is a higher commitment. I also feel that in relationship dynamics like family, friendships, maybe even, you know, parents-child dynamics, extended family, you may have people from the past coming back. There's a lot of memory here. There's a lot of nostalgia. There's a lot of let's revisit this. And so you could find yourself hearing from people from the past, thinking on people from the past. Maybe you're the one reaching out, okay, or you're crossing paths. And that can be very nice. I want to say there could be some unfinished business there. So be careful to give it the time that it deserves. Honor it for what it is. Let's move into the area of money, resources, and investments. Money, resources, and investments for Aries. Aries, July 2020. Did I say 2027? What year is it? God, I said that like 6 times. It's freaking Mercury in retrograde, you guys. This is what happens to me. I've got like 5, 6 Gemini placements. What year are we in? We're in July 2026. Whatever. That's not really going to affect anything. All right, July 2026, Aries, money, resources, investments. July, Aries. Huh. Don't, what is it? Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Don't punch a gift horse in the mouth. What is that saying? You've got an opportunity here between the second and the third week. For some of you, it's peaking in the fourth. Take it out, resonates. But right around there, You have an opportunity being sort of handed to you. It's almost like handed to you on a silver platter. And you may be looking at it and being like, had this shown up 5 years ago, had this shown up when I tried to manifest it 3 years ago, if I had the time like I did 2.5 years ago, if this, if that, if the other, or maybe just straight up, you don't have the type of interest, in it that you once did. I feel like you could be shortchanging yourself if you completely leave this. This may be something you want to tend to. This may be something you should take a closer look at. It feels worth the investment to me. I also feel like what you're trying to do the entire month, but in particular from the second week on, is not allow your life to turn into a circus. You want more peace. You want more stability. You just want to have a strong foundation. You just want to be able to catch your breath. You just want to know what's in the bank. You want to know what your investments look like right now. You're not looking to do anything crazy. You may not be open to doing anything new at all. Sorry, Charlie, I don't know what to tell you. You know what I mean? Like, that's life. Sometimes things and people and opportunities show up when we're not looking for it. Okay. When we're done for a while. We're on break. It doesn't work that way. So I would be careful passing this up. I also feel a new investment opportunity coming in right between the 3rd and the 4th week. I want to say almost for some of you, the Wednesday and Thursday of the 4th week, like right at the base of the month. And it seems to be just sort of sliding in. This could come through an email, phone call, someone texting you and someone saying, look, this is a great investment opportunity. I really think you should take this. Consider this. Do you want to do this with me? If you were open to it, what would that look like? And you're like, look, this is actually like potentially high profit, low maintenance for me. And so I think I do want that. And this could be something that you were hoping for, really wanted for a while, or literally manifested. So I feel good about that as well. Looks good. I do also just want to throw in the second week, there could be some repairs, whatever, who cares? You know what I mean? Do it. We don't let things like this sit and fester, and then little repairs can become very big repairs. So handle repairs in the second week. Yeah, something going on with that receiving side. Okay, could be receiving some help with that as well. In the area of a general theme, is there a general theme, or is there a hidden obstacle? Hidden obstacle or general theme for Aries July? Hidden obstacle, general theme. Someone's running their mouth. There's a female in your circle or someone with a lot of feminine energy who's like never satisfied, always nitpicking, always trying to be the queen, always trying to be the king baby, always trying to be center of attention. This person is self-important. This person is a shit talker. This person is incapable of earning their way. So they're always like riding off someone's back, opportunistic, throwing somebody under the bus, trying to create more focus and attention on themselves so that they seem bigger and better than what they are, or more valuable. Even if it's just social currency, they'll take it. And I feel someone's running their mouth, and it could be possibly negatively influencing your environment. So that doesn't have to be necessarily that it's negatively influencing you, but I know a bunch of Aries who are all like business owners. You're always in entrepreneurship. You always got your hands in a bunch of things. When you are like that, this is just an example, okay? But when you're like that, you have other people you need to protect from one toxic individual, okay? So this would be like I had to fire someone a while ago for messing with my other employees, okay? Trying to frame them and stuff for mistakes they made. And you just sometimes have to be off like a Band-Aid, cutthroat about that type of thing. Because if it's going to negatively affect everyone, it will eventually end up being like an infection, and it will end up directly affecting you. Okay. So pay attention to who's around, who is a team player, who isn't. Okay. Whether this is for you personally or it's for your entire community. That would be the hidden obstacle that I see. And that's really peaking between the first and the second week. Wonder if it's the same person who was like irritating in the beginning. Maybe, possibly, there could be more. Okay. I don't want to color it. All right. Aries, have a wonderful July. So many opportunities for you. I'm excited. Just don't snooze. All right, let's move on to Taurus. Tauruses, July 2026. I know what year it is. July 2026 for Tauruses in the area of love and relationships. Feels like somebody has cut you off, or you have decided to cut someone off. The way I'm mostly reading this is that an energetic flow of love and affection, attention, romantically for most of you, has a division line. And I'm hearing February. So this could be someone from February, or something could have happened, okay, in February, where I don't know that that division was officially there, but it started, okay, or something from February is coming up again. And now it's like, here it is. This is the divide. And I'm under the impression that neither person really wants to fix it. And both people want it remedied or healed. We would both prefer that it isn't left this way, but neither person is working toward it. So if that's the choice, I mean, one person should probably be the adult. You know, one person does seem to be more accountable, or needs to be more accountable than what they're being. And the fracture could be from poor communication, lack of communication, someone throwing a temper tantrum, or feeling entitled. Okay. So it's on that individual to come and extend the olive branch, let's say. And that could be happening possibly in the third week. We'll see. Okay. Otherwise, sometimes you just have to cut your losses with people and be like, look, they're not ready. Okay. And if they're not ready now, it only gets uglier from here. Okay. So I'm not investing anything because why bother? So we're keeping an eye on that. Now, for those of you that have a family dynamic where something like this is going on, this feels a little bit more like a parent to child dynamic where the parent is very immature. So it almost reads as a sibling bond. And for some of you, it is probably literally with like a sibling or a cousin or something like that. Okay. So same message applies. For those of you that are open to love, I want to say that, let me get to that in a minute. Some of you are married, or some of you are locked down. Okay. Cohabitation, monogamy, maybe you're engaged. It feels very heavy to me. Many of you, not all of you, of course, but if it applies, many of you are feeling done, not for the first time, but for the last time. And if you have spent the last, I want to say 3 months trying to work something out with someone, watering your grass and being like, well, the grass is greener where you water it, and I'm just going to pay attention to my own lawn, you know, maybe there was some infidelity at some point, but we're really trying to work through some things. And we're trying to work through the type of things that require like intervention, like a marriage counselor, like individual and group therapy, couples therapy, okay, like new tools, like a lot of shadow work. This is heavy lifting. This is heavy lifting only to feel that you're looking over at the other person and being like, they don't care. They just, it could be hard for you to fully define because their words may say one thing, but you energetically feel it. Your nervous system feels it. The pattern of dysfunction shows it. Okay. And you're like, I'm done. I've been done, honestly, but now I'm done. Okay. So that's fine. It is what it is. We don't want to beat a dead horse, let lying dead dogs lie or sleeping dogs lie. You know, don't, Spirit's just talking about, don't try to hold on to things that are preventing your growth. Detox phases are normal, okay, and natural. And you're going to start to see some significant negative karmic kickback if you're not willing to do that in your life. Okay, so deterioration. The minute you knew you were supposed to leave this person, you could have started to deteriorate other friendships, other opportunities, and going 1 step forward, 2 steps back. And you're done with it. You're too tired, and you're too physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically drained from this. It's a drag. So there's that. And then there's also, for some of you Tauruses, you seem open to new love or a current relationship that maybe you've been wondering. There's a lot of mind games going on here. I have you guys looking at the other person being like, what are they thinking? What are they feeling? Where is this going? Will they remain stable in the future? You know, am I going to get hurt? Is this really who they are? There's a lot of Houdini magician wizardry going on here, instead of, how do I want to say this? Once you've gotten your answer and you're confident with that answer to that question, let it go. Let it go. Okay. You may have some healing to do, Tauruses, especially in regards to old situations where you made wrong choices because you didn't want to listen to reality. And now you've sort of wounded your own self. Well, I don't know if I could trust my intuition. You could have also, and you should have then as well, but you didn't. Okay. Now you're a little wounded from it. Don't project that onto someone else who doesn't intend you harm. Okay. So I do see a relationship potentially, if you could let that go, growing. Okay. Someone who really is very, what you see is what you get, open book energy around you. Some hot and heavy sexual stuff coming up here also. And have fun. Okay. In particular, the 3rd and the 4th week. And it's not just sexual, it's also creative. So I'm getting like root chakra, solar plexus energy with both of you ignited. So it could be like, let's go to this museum. Let's go venture off into the woods over here. You know, let's go take this trip, you know, a quick 2-day trip. Like let's, you know, go stay at this hotel and go to dinner at this fancy place. We're not even leaving town, you know, but we want, it's very like adventuresome going on here. Love it, love it, love it. Taurus, July 2026, money, resources, investments, money, resources, investments for Taurus. Taurus, new job opportunity, 2nd week, new job opportunity, but it's coming out of your mouth. Okay. So I see it here being offered to you, but they're sort of staring at you and you're the one saying, this is who I am. This is what I bring to the table. This is what I want. You know, this is what I'm committed to because it's part of my bigger goal or life plan. I mean, I want to say you're selling it. And I think you should. I kind of think you have to for this. So don't be shy to show up. Don't be shy to pitch. Okay. Don't be shy to sell yourself and showcase your skills and really prove. I mean, I don't care. I don't care if this is a Dunkin' Donuts. Okay. I don't care. I don't care what this is for you guys. It's important that you're presenting as someone who is fairly passionate about locking this position down because it really works in your life. And that's what these employers seem to be looking at with you. They want to hear that you're not, let's say turnover may be big. Okay. And they're sick and tired of it. Okay. They don't want you coming in to only go right back out the door in 3 weeks. They don't want it. And I also feel like you're in a unique position for the rest of you who have an opportunity right in front of them. It's almost like I'm asking for a raise. I'm asking for the promotion, but I'm not doing it in such a way where I'm passively hoping to receive. I'm not sheepishly coming and requesting this. I'm letting you know it's due me, it's owed, and it's sort of a now or never. So you either give me this thing or I will go get it from somewhere else because I know my worth, I know my value, I know my skill set, and I can do that. I am in a position to do that. So I love that for you. Let's see if there's anything else. There's something coming up about investments, a refrigerator, a hot water tank. For those of you who flip houses, are looking at updating in a property, if you own land, you're thinking of building on it a bit, whatever it is, okay? For those of you that are like landlords, like you may be upgrading appliances between the 3rd and the 4th week, or this could really be, I guess, for anyone, any larger appliances or a vehicle, okay? For some of you, I'm also getting a plane. Now, if you fly or you own a plane, you know, this could be an upgrade for you there as well. But for others, this could be planning the trip, investing in the trip. locking it down by around the 4th week, the middle to the end of the 4th week, locking it in. And this is long distance travel, okay, when I'm seeing a plane. So I feel good about that as well. All of that good, all of that good. I am supposed to wag a finger at some of you, probably like 30% of you. Why are you not working on your savings harder? I understand that times are tough, but there are things that you could be giving up. You are getting a little sloppy with it. You could also be giving up some of the video game playing or the downtime to get another side hustle and to take that cash and put it away, or to take that cash and start putting it in investments. There is more that you could do. And it does feel like I would move on that. Okay, because in the next couple of years, that's going to be really important for you, really advantageous, but you haven't even like started building it, or you're like, it's out of reach. It's not out of reach at all, at all. It's not out of reach. Is there a hidden obstacle or a general theme? Hidden obstacle or general theme for Taurus? Taurus, July 2026. Hidden obstacle, general theme. Someone's steering you wrong. Someone comes in around the 2nd week, for some of you, the middle of the 1st week, and is annoying, pontificating. I'm on my soapbox. I like to find teachable moments. Anyone who has to find teachable moments is annoying AF, okay? People who have to find teachable moments are overreaching. They are desperate to lead something because they feel inferior in another area, and their accuracy is 99.9% of the time off base. Their intuition is turned off. Okay. They are not emotionally intelligent. They may not be, this individual, for many of you, empathetic at all. So not even coming to you for the right reasons, like wanting to help, wanting to advise. And they may be saying to you, oh, I wouldn't do that if I were you, or I wouldn't do it in that way, or, here's a better idea, or I heard this thing crashed, or I heard that won't do well, or that's already falling apart. It's like, don't pay any attention to this person. Okay. Don't let them influence you one way, shape, or form. I would actually turn that off entirely and not let them talk. Okay. Or walk away, I guess, if you can. All right, Taurus. Taurus is July 2026. Have a great month. We are going to move on to Gemini, my fellow Geminis. Gemini, what is going on with you, Geminis? July 2026. Tick tock, tick tock. Where is this coming from? Up it ran, down. Mouse ran up the clock. The mouse ran up the clock. Hickory dickory dock. The mouse ran up the clock. Tick tock, tick tock. Okay, you're running out of time. 2nd of the 3rd week. 2nd of the 3rd week. Make a move, lock it down, sign it. It's yours. Take it. Okay, something's coming in. That looks like a contract. This could be verbal, okay, but this is a probably quite literal contract. Now, TikTok starts toward the end of the 1st week. Between the 2nd and the 3rd week, okay, we have to lock this down. So essentially what we're doing is we are looking in the 1st week, or like today, or whenever you're watching this, right? You need to start examining where your current goals are, where you want to be, what your like 3-year plan is, or what the next 4 things on your manifestation list, your vision board are. And you need to get ready, because here come some opportunities, and we want to work with the ones that are going to help us fulfill those manifestations and goals. Okay. I think that it's something that could be a bit competitive. So maybe other people are offered the same thing, or it could shift away from you towards something else. And so what you want to do is get that contract signed. You want to sign it, and you want to get them locked in as well, so that there's no more debate, and then we can move forward. I heard with pride, which means a couple different things. First of all, moving forward with pride in this case is going to be, I'm proud of myself. It's also going to be the lioness, okay, or the lion, fiercely protective over something. and being able to finally, guard it. It's building a foundation under you that maybe you didn't expect to have. If you have been manifesting that you want more stability, you want a greater sense of freedom, you want to be able to breathe easier because you have a net under you, you have trajectory on that, it's going to continue to grow. This is going to be that. And you may not have even seen it coming, really. Okay, which is a beautiful thing. So you're not even thinking about it in those terms, but it is. It is part of your solid foundation. I almost want to say at the root, at the bottom, at the base of your foundation. Okay, which is a big deal. It's kind of holding up everything else that comes after this for the next possibly 10 years or so, 10 to 12, maybe for some 13, 15. Now, we also have an opportunity in the third week for some of you to take the mic. Taking the mic can mean journalism, publications. This can be podcasts. This could be like doing what I'm doing now. This could be teaching, leading, communicating, mentoring in any way. This is, thank you for coming to my TED Talk, publishing. All right. And so you're getting the mic in the third week. Take it, run with it. You are being seen. You are being heard. Maximize that. Anything you do publicly, I don't care if it's posted on your social media, anything you do publicly, boost it, showcase it, pin it. Okay. Get it up there. Get ready to be seen. I feel like this like the back of your hand too. For any of you dealing with imposter syndrome, it's like, it like the back of your hand. I'm realizing that this went right into money, right? Did it not? Did your reading skip right over love and relationships and go into money? Am I crazy, Diana, or is that what happened? Let me know, because in a minute here, I'm going to do so many of these. I don't even know what my name is. Okay. But that's how it feels to me. I don't even know what happened to the format I was going to follow. But anyways, we are talking about money clearly, for you guys. I also feel like in the fourth week, there's something sweeping in here that feels like a wave from the ocean and washing out the old. So for those of you who've been looking for transition, maybe you're thinking of leaving a house, an investment, an old job, sharing, wherever you have shared income. If you've been hoping for some transition, this wave of water here is symbolic of the universe coming in and washing away what no longer serves your growth. And that's not something we can do on our own. So that is a real blessing. It does suggest that you've already been chipping away at that or doing the work, and that you've been open, okay, to that happening. And so that's going to allow for a whole new world to come in upcoming months. So out with the old, in with the new. We're going to look at love and relationships. I don't know. Diana, are you even following me? Let me know if I'm crazy and I already did love and relationships. I intended to, but that just took over. All right. So love and relationships for Gemini. No, I did not talk about that. Love and relationships for Gemini, July 2026. Love and relationships. I have somebody coming in trying to talk to you, but it's like, wah, 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 wah. It reminds me of like Peanuts when the teacher would talk. I have somebody coming in the second week trying to talk to you, and it's like they're trying to convince you that they are valuable to you. They're trying to convince you that they are something you want. It's an asset. It's like, I will be good for you. Almost like you need me, you need this, you want this. It's like, you want this, you do, I feel like this person's trying to I don't know, hypnotize you or some shit. Telepathically, through astral travel and showing up in your dreams, trying to send you messages that this is a relationship you want. And you're like, wah, 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 wah. Okay. I don't think so. I don't know. It's like you're not feeling it. I think this could be delicate. This could be someone you work with. This could be someone you have contracts with. This could be someone you're somewhat reliant upon. Okay, things going well. This could also just be someone you have a significant amount of history with or some entanglements. Take it out, resonates. But you just do not seem interested. I want to say for most Geminis, this is a month where you just want to fly solo. And you cannot even wrap your head around being locked down. Okay. It's also, I mean, here in the Northern Hemisphere, it's summer. Like Geminis aren't getting locked down right now. So embrace that. Allow that to happen. We also have somebody from your past trying to come back in. And so while this is going on and you're like, nah, not really, you know, you have somebody else coming back and you're like, I wonder about that. I've been wondering about that. So the second week for most of you, okay, could it be delayed? Maybe they could delay. For some of you, it could be more going into the third week or late in the fourth week. Anyways, I have this person from your past also coming back wanting to, I heard lock it down, but what that can mean in my symbol base is that they want to lock down a conversation. They want to lock down a date. They want to lock down a meeting. Okay, I will drive to you, whatever it is, but like, I need you to agree to see me in some way. So it's not locking down a relationship. It's locking down a time spent together so we can maybe have a conversation or figure out what's going on here. This person may be revealing what's in their heart to you in a way that maybe in your opinion, you're like, should have done that before, you know, but whatever. Don't be petty, you know, try to stay open. Because it does feel like this is an important conversation. There could be a contract between you and this person. In the area of hidden obstacles, is there a hidden obstacle or a general theme for Gemini, July 2026? Is there a hidden obstacle or is there a general theme? Hidden obstacles. Watch out for your tires bursting, low air pressure, letting it go too far for too long. I'll fix that later. I'll fix that later. I'll fix that later. Now I have a flat. Okay. Be careful with people who are trying to let the air out of your tires. Be careful for people who are jealous of you. People who want to like knock you down, get you off your high horse, deflate your ego, deflate your ego when you don't even know you have one. Maybe even sabotaging how effective you are, how much you're being seen, okay, or diminishing your work out in the world, okay, in some way. So just be careful for anyone trying to take the air out of your tires, which suggests here that it could hinder your mobility a bit. Okay. And that could also, like I said, it could be literal. All right. Thank you, Geminis. Have a wonderful July. We're going to move on to Cancers. Okay. Cancer is up next. You guys, I forgot to ask, could everyone please, thank you so much for being here. Could everyone please give this video a thumbs up? If you are on YouTube, hit the hype button. I'm not sure if you're able to hit the hype button when we're live. If someone could let me know, I've actually been pretty curious about that. I have lipstick on my teeth the whole time. That's great. Anyways, if you guys could also drop a comment of any kind, letting me know what your zodiac sign is. I would love to hear what your sun, moon, rising is. Also, my birthday was it yesterday? I think it was the day before yesterday. Time is flying this month. It's ridiculous. My birthday was June 22nd. I would love to hear in the comments if I have any twins in the audience. Where are my twins? Who else is June 22nd? And happy birthday to all the Cancers. What are we on? We're on Cancer now. Okay. Cancers. Oh, and yeah, you guys, please do subscribe also and share this video. All right, Cancers, July 2026. All right, let me try to stick with the order here. In the area of love and relationships, what is coming up for Cancers, my fellow Cancers? In love and relationships. Love and relationships. Huh. somebody coming in between the second and the third week for most of you who feels very big, very tall. This could be someone who works out. This could be someone with a big personality. For many, they're kind of soft spoken, but they have a big energy, a big personality. You know, this isn't gender, male, female, whatever. Okay. It's just an energy. And for some, it's physical. Okay. As well. Now, this person sort of coming in seems to be looking at you very seriously. They came with an agenda. They came with strategy. That does not make them deceptive, but that does make them focused. And they're not willing to, for many of you, this may be a Leo. For some, this could be a Sag. For others, this could be an Aries or a Taurus. Okay, I don't want to get into the signs on that because it could be any sign, especially if you look at their whole chart. But they carry a lot of this energy. It's a very kind of in your face, I'm coming at you, you know, type of energy. Even though they seem calm, cool, collected, strategic, sophisticated a bit, I do think that this person isn't messing around. When they approach you, they've been thinking about this thoroughly, how to do it, when to do it, why to do it. And that's what you want. Okay. This is romantic. If that wasn't obvious, maybe it wasn't obvious. Sorry. So anyways, yeah, we are talking about romance here. I do think that they are wholeheartedly trying to open up a can of worms, which can mean for some of you, this is someone from your past returning. They are trying to understand you better. For those of you who have someone new approaching and they feel like this is worth the investment. They're not just feeling it, they know it. They've already done the math. Okay. They know it. So it's up to you whether or not you entertain it. Of course, I have you feeling a little bit sheepish about it. I have you looking at this person and feeling a little bit like, I don't know, when I have them looking at me, I feel like I want to turn away. I'm not trying to go anywhere, but I'm not trying to look at it either. So you could have some unresolved issues with this person or feelings about things that happen between the two of you. Some of you could be feeling a little insecure in getting back out there or dealing with this person again, opening yourself up, or you feel as though you can't trust them. And like, they don't get it. They don't get it. Okay. So they don't sometimes people don't see themselves clearly. And it's like, you can come with the best game ever and the biggest plans and the most self-confidence, but like, you really don't see yourself clearly. You don't see the situation clearly. This could be political differences. This could be cultural differences. This could be racial differences. This could be, like differences in like sexuality. Something's off base here for sure. So, you know, it's up to you whether or not you want to speak your truth and try to get to that point of mutual understanding or not. For others, you seem to be already in something and you're wondering where it's going. That could get locked down or made more clear between the third and the fourth week. For some of you, I'm hearing the first day of the second week, the first day of the second week, possibly the first day of the first week, but there could be a conversation that helps clear that up. For those of you that are already like married, this could be a situation where you weren't sure whether things were going to work out either with you guys or with your finances. And it feels like it's getting cleared up also between that third and fourth week. Relationship dynamics could also be a little bit tough in family where there's a lot of demand put on you this month. Okay. So having to work that into your schedule and feeling a little bit drained, dealing with some family members who are just in a needy state right now. Thank you for the hearts on TikTok. And that's okay. You take care of that. Okay. It'll all work out, but it is going to require a significant amount of investment. And I'm not just talking time and money. I'm talking, you know, energy. Make sure that when you're not dealing with this person's problems, you remember that they're not an extension of you. I don't care if this is your kid, this is your parent, it doesn't matter. They're not an extension of you. And when you're done helping someone, you need to turn that off in your brain. Okay. It's like, I'm not thinking on it anymore. I'm free and clear because these aren't technically your issues. Okay. So rest and recuperate your energy when you're not dealing directly with them. Somebody could also be asking you to give them a ride or invest in their transport or invest in them. So like asking for a loan, okay, something like this, mentor over them. It's up to you. Could be a good investment. In the area of money, resources, and investments, this was coming in earlier for you Cancers. So you do have someone coming in offering you between the second and the third week something very tempting. I heard whetting the palate, which can mean you are thinking on this. You're like, really? Me doing that? I don't know. Is that something I want to learn or invest in? Will it pay out long term? Is it taking me off the path? And for some of you, it could be quite theatrical. For those of you that are looking for speaking opportunities or performing in any way, you know, more leadership. It just, I don't know why it feels theatrical. It feels very like, you know, what I do is a good example. What do? I speak to the dead for a living. Okay. I talk to spirit. I channel spirit. Did I think it would involve getting my hair done and having to wear makeup and having to get in front of a camera and having to have lighting and having to do all this publishing shit? No, I did not. I would not have correlated, right? Those things. But guess what? In 2026, that's what a lot of things are. Okay. Or with my journalism degree, it was like I was in watchdog print. That's what my degree is in, watchdog print. And then my professors and everything were like, let's see what you could do in the news. Let's see what you could do on the camera. Let's see what you could do in radio. Let's see what you could do in, you know what I mean? Sometimes you get pushed consistently. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because it feels like it keeps happening to you. And you may keep putting on the brakes and putting on the brakes, but eventually it is what it is. And if it's part of your life contract, if it's part of something you're supposed to do, you're going to find yourself in that more theatrical, the eye of the media. Okay, just do it is how the Nike, like, just do it. Okay, and see where it goes. Don't like it, you can back out. It won't be that big of a deal, but it does feel like a big offer. Also, with the investments, the resources, there could be something coming in toward the end of the month. And it's offering you an opportunity to create more stability if you invest. Okay. And so I think this could be good for you. It's something you've been thinking about anyways. So as the opportunity arises, you don't have to put everything into it, but a reasonable amount I think would be good here. So a calculated risk is what I'm hearing. And it really doesn't feel like much of a risk at all. Okay. In the area of hidden obstacles or general theme, is there a hidden obstacle or general theme for Cancer, July? Hidden obstacle? Feels like someone's trying to steal your shit. The third week? Someone's trying to like be you. So whether someone's stealing your idea, someone's stealing your words, someone's mimicking you, they're parroting you. They're like, I am her, I am him. And you're catching it, you're hearing it. You're hearing just enough of it to be like, nope, I'm taking that back. I'm getting it in check immediately. You know how they say like imitation is the highest form of flattery? It could also be a lawsuit. Okay. Yeah. It could be, you know, if you want to take it in that direction, you should let them know, you know, I don't want to hear it again. I don't want to see it again. What is yours is yours. What you've created is yours. The people that you know, the connections that you have, this could also be, here's another good example of this. You have connections because you're the real deal. You have connections because you've earned them, because you've labored and you have invested in these situations and relationships. So if someone's coming along right behind you, a little shadow trying to ride your coattails and get in with your connections, you're going to need to cut that off. Okay? Just even because it's annoying, not even because it's dangerous, just because it's annoying. That's enough of a reason. Cancers. July 2026. Have a wonderful month. We are going to move on to Leo. Okay, Leo, love and relationships. Let me try to go in order again here. Leo, love and relationships. Yeah, you guys, thank you for the happy birthday messages. Kate says I'm an Aries moon. An Aries moon. You guys are fiery little firecrackers. A Taurus rising. Love that. And a Gemini sun. How fun are you? That's adorable. I love that. You're a good time. All right. And yes, I see you guys asking. Happy belated birthday from Nicole Whitehead. Thank you so much. 47. Feeling it. 50 is looking a little closer in the mirror than it had. Also, I see you guys asking, when are we doing questions? At the end, we're going to do questions. So you can drop your $10 donation, ask any type of question under the sun. It is unlimited, and I'll get to all of them at the end. And again, I do not need your birth information, your sun, moon, rising. I don't need any of that. Just go ahead and ask whatever type of question you have. Okay, where are we? Leo. Leo. All placements for July 2026. Leos. Love and relationship for Leos. You seem to be really trying to lock something down with someone. I see you sort of grabbing on to someone else's, I want to say right hand, right wrist, right arm. That signifies their power outside. So you could be dealing with someone romantically in the month of July where you feel that you have to be in alignment with whatever makes them feel powerful, whatever their goals are, wherever they're headed in life. And you're like, this is how I get in. This is how I lock this down. This is how this relationship becomes real. Okay, significant, important. It's almost like saying you want to be important to them. And so the only way to do that is to really understand where they're going, how they think, where they're headed. Okay. If it's out of alignment with that, or it has been in the past, for those of you who are dealing with something that just like hasn't really worked out, you haven't been able to find the right formula. This could be coming around again. For those of you who are in a relationship, but it's just sort of not working and you're wondering if it's over, this is the formula. Okay. And, again, for others who are, walking into something brand new, you could be meeting someone and it's like, this is what I need to showcase, is that where they're headed. I'm not saying fake it, of course not, but it's like, where you're headed, that's where I'm headed. What you love to do, that's what I love to do. Where you're planning on traveling, how you're planning on investing your money, what you're planning on building in your career, that's where I'm going, So it's not necessarily faking who you are or future faking as much as it is realizing that there's alignment there. You have your path, they have theirs, and it can be very mutually supportive. And what you're really showing them is that you are there to support them. You want to support them. That's all this person seems to care or want to hear about. Okay, so that's good. I think that for some of you, you should be careful if you're not open to pregnancy. Ladies, be careful for baby trappers. Okay, like, I don't know how much of this I'm allowed to say on here, but like, if he's like, oh, well, I have a condom, you know what I mean? You're like, I have one, thanks. Let me use my own. You know what I mean? Get your own drinks. Just be careful this month, especially between the 3rd and the 4th week, for people who are eager beavers, and they just want to kind of come at it. And it's like, you could take all that passion somewhere else. Okay. It's like, let's be realistic. Let's be careful. Okay. We're not trying to bring in a bunch of kids this month. I'm not feeling it for you. Could you? Sure. And for those of you who are looking to conceive, you got a jackpot moment right there. Okay. I also feel that some of you may be letting something go that hasn't been working. Quite possibly you were engaged or you were thinking this was going to lead to marriage for a while. For some of you, this relationship goes back like 7 years. For some of you, you are married and you're like, this just isn't it. you know, or maybe it was and it isn't anymore, but letting something go and getting ready for something new. For Leos this month, it could be very much that out with the old, in with the new immediately. And that can make you look like a real like player. That can make you look, you know, nutty. But it often happens that way because you probably should have left this sooner. And so this other person coming into your life has been sort of backed up. And so that leaves and this immediately comes in, right? It's not a crime. It's the way it works sometimes. Okay. So you could have a soulmate entering in if you're exiting something else. And it is what it is. All right. That's universal timing. That's divinity. We also see in family dynamics and friendships, there could be some people who really need you. Maybe a friend trying to cry on your shoulder, or people in general coming and needing you. And you're just like, okay, I'm everyone's mom this month. I'm everyone's dad this month. You know, I'm everyone's cornerstone. I'm everyone's like big brother, big sister. And that's okay. Okay, do that. Make sure you're making room for that. It's part of your service this month. In the area of money, resources, and investments. Money, resources, and investments for Leos. Leos. You seem so pissed. You know, in the second week, there is something coming in. It's like, it's big. It's a wave. Here it comes. Here it comes. Especially for those of you that are like entrepreneurs, you're in business. I got to fix this puzzle on TikTok. You're in business in any way, or you have multiple streams of income, investments. I'm also hearing very oddly, specifically, but for teachers, educators, trainers. It's like, here comes this big thing. And you're wanting it. You had maybe even like ordered it or manifested it, but you seem irritated with it as well. Okay. So I do think you could be in a period of time where you're getting what you asked for, but you also have to work it into your schedule. You also have to understand that getting something good or leveling up is new level, new devil. Okay. It can be exhausting. And so you're going to have to deal with that accordingly. You could find yourself getting very irritable, right? Well, that's a sign you're really falling out of balance. Okay. So balance. Okay. Lock in. You've got this. But it is good. I also see for some of you more in the third week or the end of the second week, but for some of you, you're done. You are done. I don't know what's going on with you, Leos. What is going on with you guys this month? Like, you just seem real. Some of you are very cutthroat. Some of you are very finished with things that have been holding you back for too long. So you could just like, I don't even know if you resign. It's like, what movie is that where he takes the potato and he throws it at the guy's head and then he walks out? He's like, F you, F you, F you. You're cool. You know, I'm out. Maybe you just walk out. Maybe you just quit. Okay, quit. Whether this is an investment, this is a job, you know, this is, I guess for some of you, your whole career, it could be. But I feel more it's because you're within a system or a company that you no longer want to deal with. I'm sick and tired of the system. You know, the system is the problem. And you're identifying that these types of systems are dysfunctional by design, and that isn't going to change. Okay. So that's fine. I feel good about you doing that. In the area of a hidden obstacle or general theme, Leos, is there a hidden obstacle or is there a general theme? Somebody's coming in the second week, somewhere between the first and the second week, but mostly in the middle of the second week for most of you, or Thursday, the second week, trying to put words in your mouth. And they're a quick talker. They're a smooth talker. They're a little bit like a jester. You know, they're kind of juggling. They're juggling. It's pull these tricks out of my sleeve, pull this scarf out of my sleeve. You know, they're a clown. They're a clown. How many colors? How many colors did you see? And it's like swatting a fly. Okay. You just have to be like, no, I don't think so. Okay. Swatting a fly. Somebody may be trying to upsell you. Someone may be trying to pitch to you. Someone may be trying to sell you something. For some of you, this is business related or money related. For others, this could be like a lover or an ex or some kind of clown who brings in a bunch of performative nonsense. And it's just like swatting a fly. It's like, no, absolutely not. Don't, this is a pest. You know what happens when you get a fly in the house? Think of how many times this happened to me the other day. So freaking irritated. Because when I'm filming, I can't have a bug landing on the camera and disrupting the whole thing, keeping me awake at night. I will lose my mind. I will lose my mind. So just even something like one bug in the house, right? And the flies this year are like huge. I got a fly. And then I opened the window. I was kind about it. I could have killed it several times. But I opened the window to let it out, and 2 more came in. Now I got 3 freaking flies, and the original fly is looking around like a dum-dum. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, they don't, you know, anyways. So you have to understand that if there's one, there's going to be more. You can't entertain things like this karmically, or else you start attracting other things like that. Okay? It was a roundabout way of saying no. Okay. Thank you, Leos. Have a wonderful July. We're going to move on to, is that the right order? It is Virgo. I'm not crazy. Okay, right. Virgos. What is going on with Virgos for July 2026 in love and relationships? Love and relationships for Virgos. You have somebody coming in who looks very, you know, like childlike, like, I'm a little angel. I don't know if this person is literally talking in a false voice, but that always freaks me out a little bit. I don't care for that. Somebody coming in who seems very angelic. They seem very passive. They seem very go with the flow, right? They're very no drama. And they're speaking in a tone, or they're using a voice that seems like a customer service voice, right? Or they're talking to you about things, especially when we're talking about a man, because men don't really do that. Men don't have to do that, right? Like, neither do women, but men weren't trained up to change every single aspect of their appearance and delivery. They're allowed to just come as they are. But say this is a man, he's only showcasing certain points, okay, of his personality. He is only speaking on in a very restricted way. Well, I will only speak on certain things. I will only answer certain questions, or I will only answer in a certain way. This is a little bit too much manufactured, in my opinion. Okay. This looks like the difference between, let's say you have been wanting, you know, to have an authentic romantic connection with someone, whether this is a current relationship or this is someone new. You've been wanting something authentic. You've been wanting more intimacy. You know, you've been wanting more telepathy and empathy and support of one another, more synergy, more chemistry, more passion. And this person is so freaking choreographed that it's starting to look like a pretty significant red flag. And I think it is. Okay, it always is. That's not normal. Why is that? What's under that? What's behind that? Why that? Okay, to get what? People only act that strategic when they want something, including women who talk like this and act like passive angels. Be careful. Everyone's getting paid. Everyone's getting paid, okay? So there's something to this that you seem to be like, yeah, like a cat, like I'm getting my back up. I don't know that I like this. I want to know what's behind it, because it's almost like time and time again, it's not going anywhere. They're not breaking character. They're not taking the mask off. They're not letting the guard down. And so it's like, okay, what I thought was maybe just going to be holding space in a period of time where we get to know each other, or maybe this person just needs to trust a little bit more, you know, and I'm going to be patient. Now I see a big red flag. And I think rightfully so. All right. So you may be saying no, thank you to something that had presented as something very safe and maybe even loving and affectionate in some way. I also have, for those of you that are open to something new in the 4th week, somebody coming in who is, I almost want to say the opposite of this. This is a quick talker. This is someone who's very open book. This is someone who uses the real tone of their voice. This is someone who isn't going to put on a mask for anyone, not for the other person's benefit necessarily, but because like, why should I? Who do you think you are? Why should I? You know, so for themselves, they're very in touch with who they are, and they know how to move through the world to level up and reach points of prosperity and fulfill their life contract, for example, in an authentic way. I think that you are either finding a new friend in this person, a partnership, possibly a romantic partner for some of you. For some of you, maybe this is just like a coworker or someone you're doing business with on a project, but I feel very positive about that. Okay, so benefits there for sure. Some of you have an ex returning, especially the third week. Okay, maybe calling you or texting you or trying to like a late night text in the second week, like 3 a.m., 11 p.m., like, and then the third week trying to actually, I don't know if they show up, but it feels like a physical encounter, okay, with an ex. Maybe you invite that in, whatever it is. There could be potentially a physical encounter in the third week with an ex. Let me just look at that real quick. I heard time's up, you know, time's up. So they either come ready or time's up. That dragged on for far too long. Okay, that shouldn't be happening. If they're still confused, they're forever confused, okay, because you're leaving anyways. In the area of money, resources, and investments, money, resources, investments. Where are we? Virgo? Yeah, we're on Virgo. Money, resources, investments for Virgo. I heard stalls, I heard delays, I heard where is this shipment, I heard where's this contract, I heard where's that pay, where's that check, where's this agreement, where are the new people, like what stalls and delays. But right between the second and the third week, we hit a peak point where it's like a bullseye. We've got it, okay, where something seems to get locked in that can bring a lot of long-term benefits to you, to whoever else is on the other end of this contract. It's mutually beneficial agreement. And from this, we have a solid foundation to start building up. So this could be something new beginning. This is, for some of you, a brand new career, or like you're getting a certification, you're getting your, maybe it's like a degree, maybe it's like, you know, you're passing a test and you're able to move forward now. For others, maybe you're getting like published. Now you're going to be seen and you're going to be heard, but it is a brand new beginning in something that can be built up much higher. I feel like the possibilities here are pretty endless as well, because once we build up, let's say we're building a skyscraper, okay, and this is the foundation. Well, once that skyscraper is built and it's like, well, it can't go anymore, you have probably accumulated so many resources and so much networking and so many other partnerships from this. You got 5, 6, 12, 20, 30, 100 other ones, okay? So this is a pretty big deal. Just make sure you see it as such, not like a one and done scenario here, and don't rest on your laurels. I do think it may be time to pull an investment out between the third and the fourth week. So if you have an investment that hasn't necessarily been failing, but it just isn't really going anywhere, you may want to pull out of that. In the area of a general theme or hidden obstacle, general theme, is there a general theme or hidden obstacle for Virgos, hidden obstacle or general theme? Try not to let yourself get in a funk between the third and the fourth week, possibly like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You know, some things may be coming up, or memories or flashbacks, or maybe some shadow work, maybe some purging, maybe some dreams. You know, I get this impression that like you're going along, you're Mr. Happy Pants, and then all of a sudden, you know, you're reminded of something, an anniversary or a sad date or someone's passing, or, you know, you talk to someone and it's just like, that's always a bummer, you know, and it just sort of makes you heavy or spiral. I want to say be guarded with your energy in that time period, because you're going to need all of your energy for the things that you're building, for the good things that are going on. And if you're not guarding and being guarded and being very mindful during that time, you could get sucked into a tunnel or fall down a rabbit hole you don't need to go down. I don't really feel like there's much more healing that can be done in that area. It's always important to understand that healing is not linear. It's not A to Z. Okay. It is cyclical. It will come back up again and again and again, but no need to beat a dead horse. Okay. Thank you, Virgos. Have a wonderful July. We are going to move on to Libras. Okay. My hair is frizzing out big time. Libras. Where are my Libras? Okay, give me a shout out in the comments. Libras. Let's see what we're getting here. All right, Libra. July 2026. Libras in love and relationships. Libra, love and relationships. Okay. In the second week, in the third week, second week going into the third week going into the fourth week. We've got two teams here. All right. So you guys split off into two different messages. Team one, you've got between the second and the third week, right in that little dip, probably the weekend, okay? You've got a hard conversation coming up with a lover who wants to know what this is, who wants to know whether or not you're dedicated, who wants to know what the plan is. And you're going to need to give answers to that, or else you could find yourself distancing from this person, losing this person. Maybe you're the one doing this. Maybe you're the one. Okay, saying I need to know what it is, or I'm pulling back. And maybe you don't like move out that weekend. Maybe you don't file the divorce papers. Maybe you just let this thing implode. Maybe you just let the chips fall where they may. Maybe you just lose interest entirely and don't touch me. Okay, maybe. But it is either going to be answered or it's going to be left. And I do feel a bit of a red flag here, because if we even have to take it that far, if we even have to ask these questions, don't you already have the answer? And then we look at the other team here, which is, I want to say between the third and the fourth week. This feels new. This feels important. Some of you could be meeting a karmic partner, okay, which is fine. That's for lessons, get out, but it could feel very passionate, very addictive, not necessarily good for you long-term, but very much like this person shows up in your dreams. There's signs and symbols of them everywhere, okay? It is the type of connection you're never going to forget, but the relationship is full of lessons. Be careful there. Now, we also have some of you encountering a soulmate or soul tribe member. These are nicer. These are work contracts. This is very balanced. If you guys are meeting someone where the chemistry is fantastic, okay, especially like in the bedroom, intellectual stimulation, emotional support, but you don't get the butterflies, you don't get the stomach flip, you don't get that rush of adrenaline, right? Dopamine hit in the same way. That's a good sign. Okay, that's not a problem. That's a sign that your nervous system can be in the company of this individual and remain regulated. Okay, that's something we should be looking for. So I think many of you could be meeting someone new. For some of you, you've already been talking to this person, or you met up a couple times, or you've had three to four oddly specific conversations, but like it didn't come together for whatever reasons, or it wasn't the right time. Okay, and we're kind of taking that to the next level. For some of you, you could be having some family dynamics that are getting a little bit difficult, in that someone else is having a closed throat chakra. They're deliberately not sharing things. Maybe they're struggling to process. This could be your child. This could be just, another family member, and you're there and you're trying to hold space and you're trying to be patient. But it's like, if somebody doesn't know what they're thinking or feeling, like I'm just choking, just even trying to get this message out. If I don't know who I am, or I don't know what I'm feeling, or I don't know what I'm thinking, or I'm very conflicted in it, it's hard for me to communicate, about it, or it doesn't feel safe to. And so what would be best for you to do is create an environment of safety where that can come out in whatever chaotic way, shape, and form it is ready to come out in. And sometimes I'm seeing Winnie the Pooh and Piglet sitting on the cliff, you know, with the sunset. Sometimes you just plop yourself on down next to someone and you just be present. And that's all. Okay. So you may need to do that with a family member or a chosen family. Okay. Like a friend. Yeah, I think so. Okay. We are going to move on to money, resources, investments. Money, resources, and investments for Libra. Libra, July 2026. Money, resources, investments. Some of you may be investing in a new vehicle. Some of you may be getting the vehicle of your dreams. I just saw a Mercedes. Like a black leather interior, heated seats. They make like a black Mercedes with a white, it's almost like a light leather interior. This is very nice, very nice. So some of you, this could also be symbolic. In the second week, you are moving into greater speed with your money, your resources, contracts, partnerships. Speed is picking up. You can run over obstacles now. Okay. I pity the fool that gets in front of you now. And you're not going to be slowing down. So many of you are entering into a period of time where the next 3 to 4 months, I would say, even are going to be like, go, 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 go. Okay, on to the next, on to the next. It's really, really good. Some of you could be hitting a lottery aspect. Okay, as many astrologers refer to it. I don't really believe in luck. I believe in karmic payouts that tend to come in chunks and look lucky. But you could be getting paid out between the 3rd and the 4th week for something you've already been investing in. So we have karmic payout or a lottery aspect coming to you. For some of you have been like, oh, all my manifestations are happening all of a sudden. Why everything? Even things you were manifesting like 3 years ago. For some of you, 5, 7, 8 years ago. It's like this stuff is all coming in now. So pay out for the hard work you've been doing. Manifestations, okay, keys to doors of opportunity finally coming in around that time. And I want to say for some of you, maybe it's just a good time to like go to the casino, okay, or like play the lotto or play bingo, or, you know, make a little bit more of a risk on an investment you've been debating on. I feel good about that. I feel good about that. Some of you may also this month be locking down a house, a contract, piece of land, real estate, upgrades to the real estate, and yeah, like a property. For others, you could be moving your work. Not here anymore. I'm going to go over here. Or I'm not here anymore. I'm going to be working from home now. Okay, doing it differently in a different space. Is there a hidden obstacle or general theme for Libras? Hidden obstacle or general theme for Libras? Libras, is there a hidden obstacle or a general theme? You're going to need to, I heard, use your inside voice this month, which can mean don't talk about what you're thinking. Don't talk about what you're doing. Don't talk about your blessings that are coming in. Don't talk about what you're planning. Don't just, it's not because there are monsters everywhere looking to pop your balloon. Not really, or steal your balloon. You know, it's like, because it throws you. When you talk too much, you get thrown from where your focus is supposed to be. Okay. The monks take a vow of silence for a reason. You may want to like fall down that rabbit hole. Okay. Why do they do this? To stay centered, to stay connected to their higher mind, to stay connected to God, to stay connected to the universe, to stay connected to what's important. Less is more this month. And there will be a lot of people talking at you. There will be a lot of things coming toward you. There will be a lot of chatter. And it's going to be important for you to be able to tune that out, shut that off. Okay. And like, don't try to control it. Just, you can control your own energy by blocking it out and saying, I'm being very picky this month. Especially between the 2nd and the 3rd week, I'm being very picky this month about what I watch, who I speak to, how I speak, what I entertain mentally, emotionally, all of that. Okay. Just be very specific. Thank you, Libras. Have a wonderful July. We are going to move on. Scorpio is next. Wait, did I do that right? Yeah. Yep. Scorpio is next. Okay, if you guys haven't already done so, when I'm done with the horoscopes, I'll be getting on to your questions. So drop your $10 donation and your question. If you are on Instagram or TikTok, we don't have a description box and we're not allowed to pin anything. So Diana, my beautiful producer, is putting the directions in the comment section. And so you can catch her there. All right, if you have to post and ghost, no worries. This will get published in about 24 hours exclusively on YouTube at Ask Ivy the Medium with timestamps. So you can go back and watch. All right, we're moving on to Scorpio. Scorpios, love and relationships. For Scorpios, love and relationships. It's like you're the third week. I have you pounding on someone's door. I have someone pounding on your door. And it's very much like, let me in, let me in, let me in right now. So there's some sense of urgency, like somebody coming at you. This is romantic. Coming at you romantically, urgently. I must express myself. I must. It's very her Plato. I don't even know what that means. Okay, but it is very dramatic. It's very seeing like Romeo and Juliet and just very, you know, I don't know. I'm not really buying it, but you know, it's very, how do I want to say this? People like this, they tend to be short-lived. Their passion tends to be childlike. Their ability to sustain something is so stunted and immature that it almost ends up being more of a tragic comedy. Okay, than a romantic novel. It's like very theatrical, they seem a little out of control. Now, again, I don't know if this is you or if this is them coming to you. It depends on which camp you guys fall in, okay? This could be different for everyone. But I do think it's really important to make sure, I don't care if you're watching this and you're 20, 22 years old, you know what I mean? I don't care how young you are. It's important to make sure we're dealing with adults when we talk about things like sleeping with people and dating and spending a lot of time with someone else, talking, engaging, okay? Because energy transfer is a very real thing. And who we engage with affects our energy, our prosperity, and can also make us sick if it's not right, if it's off, okay? This person may be coming at you and be a bit of a vampire. And for those of you that I'm calling out, maybe you're feeling a little vampire-y this month, you know, you need more, you want more. Work on codependency, okay? Book an appointment with the therapist to do some shadow work. But it's thick in the codependency, in the neediness here, okay? The vampiring and draining of energy and attention, affection. I need it. I need it. I think it's almost like a projection too. So somebody could be projecting onto you, like bang, 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 I'm knocking on your door. And they're sort of projecting onto you their own insecurities. They are, you know, trying to make you something that you're not. They're trying to put you up on a pedestal, right? They're trying to, this could be a Pisces. Okay, I don't want to color it. Could be any sign, of course, but Pisces do that where they put someone up on a pedestal, and then when that person starts to look like a human, it's like, well, you know. So just be careful. You're not getting mislabeled as something, you know, you're not, because this person's immature, okay, and lives in a fantasy world. I think that, how do I want to say this? I think that what you're doing this month with relationships, ultimately, Scorpio, is maturing and leveling up. And that's going to be really nice, especially in the fourth week, because once you have either said no to something that is below you or immature, or you're stopping old codependent habits, whichever it is, you're going to then be by the 4th week in alignment with something higher vibrational. And this is where it starts to get good, is that you can start to attract more stable, honest people. And they can also be plenty exciting, but able to remain exciting, not tragic. Okay. Over time. I think that one of the other things you may be dealing with in relationships, romantic, in the 2nd week, I'm hearing, is that some of you may have an ex returning. You may be reaching out to an ex, but it feels for most of you an ex returning and trying to get in, and you're judging and doing the math. And even if you wanted this, you may be like sadly saying, I'm in a very different place right now. I haven't talked to this person in a while, and they're literally the same. They're exactly the same. Or they're going backward even, and you're like, I can't. So it's up to you what you do with that. For others that are in a committed relationship, you could be in the 2nd week looking at it and making some very serious plans to either invest in like a piece of real estate, or you're looking at your shared income and you're looking at where your investments could really grow, changing things up, switching and moving things around, possibly planning a trip, or looking at building your family. So I don't care if you're getting a turtle, a bird, a puppy, a baby. Okay, you could be careful. A lot of you could have twins. Yeah, there's a lot going on here. Okay, with that. So that looks really stable, actually. Be careful also for family trying to take advantage. Scorpios, family coming in and trying to like drain you, put it on you, blame you, say that you need to do that. It's like they're not entitled to you. Okay, even if it is blood relation, I don't, they're not entitled to you. So they could have, you could have some family members that have really, what's the word I'm looking for here? Privileged attitudes, okay, about what you owe them, just because you're like part of the family, part of the team. Don't be drained. Don't feed their drama, and don't enable, or it'll be like gum, bad karma, gum on the bottom of your shoe. It'll come back onto you. In the area of money, resources, and investments, money, resources, and investments for Scorpio, money, resources, investments for July. I got some tension in the jaw here. 2nd week, you may be nervous, clenching, release, breathe. Okay, breathe, relax. Balance your life, walk extra. Okay, get it out, get it out, get it out, get that energy out. Eat really well. And maybe eat a gummy or something. I mean, you just do what you have to. Use the tools available to you that are healthy, okay, to relax. But you may be nervous about a contract. You may be nervous about the way something's going to go. This could be a legal dealing. This could be some type of debt owed. This could be the way money's going to be divided out. Okay, this could be getting a job, locking something down. Official. I'm just hearing official. So it's almost like official numbers. My ear is ringing like crazy. You could be getting a lot of messages from spirit. So left ear ringing is mediumship. Okay. Tinnitus, songs downloading in your head, direction, especially in the shower, direction about when to make a move, which move to make. I feel good about this. Ultimately, I feel you coming out of it, and the rest of the month feeling very like, just relieved. You ever wrap something up that was dragging on for a long time, or was just a very intense period and a lot was riding on it? You feel almost like high. You feel really, really good after, regardless of how it went. But I do feel it going well for you. Okay. So we've got that transition coming up. Some of you may also be looking at downgrading your living situation, or some of you may be, how do I want to say this? Trying to be efficient in how much money you invest into residency or overhead if you run your own business. Some of you could be doing this with the amount of time you're putting into like your degree, your career. It's like, look, this needs to be more reasonable. This is out of balance. The cost is too high. It's taking up too much. The symbol spirit's giving me here is like, you live in, 4-car garage, upper, lower with the in-law, carriage house in the back, you got the pool, and you're like, I think I'm ready to move into a trailer on 1 acre of land. Like, I really don't care anymore. I really don't. I don't want to do this anymore. It's that symbol. Okay. So apply that to wherever in your life it fits. But it's like sometimes downgrading things can bring so much peace, like peace of mind, stability, and real wealth may need to be redefined. Real prosperity is having your health, your mental health, your freedom, time to relax. Okay. Not having to think on things and control things as much. So you may be redefining what prosperity is and downgrading, not because you have to per se, okay, but because you want to. So find ways to make that happen, because you may be like, that's impossible. No, it isn't. It's very possible. There are many stones left unturned here, for sure. In the area of a hidden obstacle or general theme, is there a hidden obstacle or general theme for Scorpios? Scorpios. Hidden obstacle or general theme for July? Be careful for people who are coming in, buttering you up. Okay. And then like could disappear. So whether this is an offer, this is a contract, read the fine print, this is an ex, this is a person, this is someone who comes into your life who just like seems like, I'm hearing fair weather friend, like seems like, you know, like let's work on this project. Let's work on this partnership. Let's get into this business together, you know, or let's hang out. And it's like, okay. And that lasts like a week and a half. And then where did they go? They don't even answer texts anymore. I mean, who knows where they went, you know? Just be careful for anyone coming in trying to sort of butter you up, because that's what they enjoy doing. I almost feel with this person like they've split personality or something. It's like, I'm not sure what I'm going to get, but they're here, they're there, they're everywhere, you know? So that's fine. But like eventually you may just decide I'm not talking to them at all, because there's no consistency there. It's looking like chaos. Thank you, Scorpio. Have a wonderful July. We're going to move on to Sagittarius. Sagittarius, what is coming up with you, Sagittarius, for July 2026 in the area of love and relationships? Love and relationships for Sagittarius. You have somebody coming in romantically between the second and the third week who looks like Kermit the Frog, and you may feel like Miss Piggy. I don't know if any of you guys are too old for that. You missed out. You should go back and watch. Okay. Miss Piggy is fabulous, but like Kermit the Frog and you feel like Miss Piggy, what the hell does that mean? Like they're not paying attention to you. Somebody's coming in and they're like, da, 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 da. They're smart. Kermit the Frog reminds me of a Virgo. Prove me wrong. Okay. He does. I never thought of it that way, or maybe Capricorn. He has this vibe that is very like type A, a little nitpicky on detail, a little bit like I'm very smart. You know, I can create anything. I'm sophisticated. I could come up with anything. I can problem solve. I can get it done. I'm going to get it done. You know, he's a real go-getter. He's very sort of intuitively intelligent, maybe even somewhat emotionally intelligent, but dang, can he be short-sighted? Yeah, he could be a little dry. He just doesn't see Miss Piggy for what she is. Okay. And she is fabulous. And you are feeling like Miss Piggy, and you are like the opposite of all of this. Okay. So you are like, you know, maybe Gemini energy or Leo energy. Okay. What am I on? I was going to say like Sagittarius. Am I not on? Oh, well, you're freaking Sagittarius. That's why I was going to say you're Sagittarius energy. You know, you are this sort of flamboyant creature. Okay. That deserves to be seen and deserves to be loved for what you are. And needs a lot of excitement and movement, you know, but it's like when you're dealing with a Kermit, you're not probably going to get a lot of that. Now, here's another angle on this potential love partnership here. We could also say this is very balanced. Okay, I never saw it that way watching the two of them, but okay. You know, I think they did actually marry at some point. Is Miss Piggy not married to Kermit? I don't know. But anyways, I think that this could also be seen as a balanced potential relationship where we are looking at polar opposite characters here. And there can definitely be some charm to that. There can definitely be some self-evolution, and it does seem like both parties are open to that. Okay, I think you're going to have to figure out what you want to do with this and whether or not you feel that you are getting enough love and attention, or if you feel like this person just expresses their love in a different way, which is valid. You know, it's like you need more, though, for sure. And you may feel with this person like you're overreaching, and you do have to be careful with that. Okay, for sure. So for some of you, this could be reversed, and that's how someone feels about you, and they're confronting you. And they're like, why are you not giving me, okay, what I need or I want from you? And you're just like, Kermit's like, not my problem. You know, I mean, just like, don't really almost care. Go do what you need to. Go figure it out. You know, come back when you're mature enough to handle who I am, but I'm not changing for you. Okay, that's fair. But this may be a tricky conversation or exchange of energy for the month. For some of you in romance, it does seem like you're already with someone, or for some of you, like you have someone coming back from the past. And this is coming up between the 3rd and the 4th week. For some of you in the middle of the 4th week, Wednesday, Thursday. So there could be a surprise text or conversation popping up here. And it feels like with either of these scenarios, it's sort of the same theme. Are we moving this thing forward, or are we not? Because what we can't do is be stuck for any longer, okay, where we've been. I also want to say family dynamics came up with you guys a bit. And so there could be a lot of family dynamics where it's not negative, it's just a little time consuming. So like parties, birthdays, can you bring this? Don't forget the potato salad. I don't know. Like, you know, get some extra steaks for the grill. Like, you know, we need this, we need that. Can you babysit? Can you? It just feels a little bit all over the place. You know, so and so's having their party. You're like, what? Why did no one tell me? And it's like, now I have to rearrange things. You know, just try to remember that family, whether this is your chosen family or this is your bio family, right? Whatever it is, that these times don't last forever. They're important. Okay. So try to make it happen, invest, and just be grateful. It is a blessing. Let's see. We are on money, resources, investments for Sagittarius. Sagittarius, money, resources, and investments for July 2026, money, resources, investments. What is this? Some of you could be getting a new job, being offered a new job, moving up into management, moving up if you've been trying to get into a supervisory position. I see a lot of technology. I see a lot of machines. I see a lot of equipment. So some of you could be working, this could also be engineering, okay, for some of you, but take it out, resonates. You could be offered a position or getting a job that you really wanted. Now, the thing is, the job itself, I don't know, for some of you is that fantastic, but the pay is freaking good. And the benefits are there. And by benefits, I'm not just talking about like dental. I'm talking about like the benefits. I'm talking about paid time off. I'm talking about sick leave or whatever. I mean, I'm talking about vacation time. I'm talking about, you know, if you need to take a mental health day or whatever, this isn't going to throw your whole life off track. Like the company itself is balanced. Okay. So they have people that are not like short on workers and crazy. It's not chaos. I think that even if it is, it's doable. Okay. Then, you know, for others, it feels very much like you are moving into a greater opportunity to really express and do passionately what you've been wanting to do with your career. For some of you, you're really taking, again, I keep getting engineering with a lot of you. You're taking your degree, you're taking your certification, your research, okay, whatever it is, your tools and your wisdom, and you're leveling it up. Now, for some of you, I see, especially in the 3rd week, going into the 4th week, an opportunity for expansion in regards to entrepreneurship, business ownership, independent consultant, contractor work. Okay, things like this, a partnership. This looks really good. Really good. Investments, resources. I'm hearing for some of you, I'm supposed to warn you, don't blow it. I don't know if you are debating on taking a reckless trip that you really don't need. If some of you are getting into escapism and avoidance, be careful blowing your money on things that you shouldn't be consuming anyways. This could also involve watching things or who you talk to. Okay, but just be careful with your money. You're not blowing it in the 4th week on things that create a dopamine hit or help you numb out or escape and avoid. All right, it's best to stay stable right now. In the area of a hidden obstacle or a general theme, is there a hidden obstacle or a general theme for Sagittarius? Hidden obstacle or general theme? Sorry, my jaw's popping. Something may be stressing you out between the 1st and the 2nd week. You're like meticulous. I have to get it done. I have to get it done now. It needs to come through now. There could be other things waiting on this thing working out. And I'm supposed to just remind you not to be your own worst enemy, not to be your own hidden obstacle, that you're not God. Do your part, dot your I's, cross your T's, hold yourself accountable, take responsibility for what you can, and let go, let God. Let go, let the universe. Okay. You do 50%, the universe comes in and does its 50%. Okay. You're certainly not going to push anything to happen any sooner by worrying about it. Okay. And you know better. You know this. So unclench that jaw. Okay. And let things unfold. As long as you've done your part, it will. All right. Sagittarius. Have a wonderful July. Thank you so much. We're going to move on to Capricorn. We are down to the last 3. Where are my Capricorns? Let me know if you are a Capricorn here in the comments section. Capricorn is my sister sign. All right. Capricorns, July 2026. Are you Diana? You Capricorn? That explains a lot. Okay, Capricorns, July 2026. Love and relationships for Capricorns. Got quite a lot of activity going on the 2nd week. You have a lot of romantic activity going on the 2nd week. The 1st week, you have a lot of family activity. This could also, for many of you, involve like any type of parent-to-child dynamic. So you and your kids or you and your parents, right? So parent-to-child dynamic going on pretty heavily the 1st week. And it could be a concentrated 3 days where that needs to be the main focus. A lot of you have, as a parent or a child, a soulmate, which is a work contract. So this can be a little bit more intense. You know, I'm helping you now, you're helping me later, or vice versa. Maybe you're caretaking over an elderly parent, you know, something like that. But it feels very like a work contract. That's what soulmate connections are. And it's playing out. Okay. So some of that work in that contract is playing out right there. Very important, needs to be honored. But it can be a little time consuming for sure. And it requires both people put their heads together and have a decent attitude about it. Okay. And work through it. We can make fun out of anything. I'm hearing we can make a good time out of anything. And so that's a lovely energy. Okay. To be in, the romantic stuff coming up for you guys in the 2nd week. If you are locked into a relationship, this could be you putting your foot down with the other person and saying, I've been sensitive enough. I have been sensitive for long enough. I have been empathetic, okay, to the nth degree. I am out of that. I am empty. And now it's time for change. So if you've been like holding space for someone, if you've been focusing in the relationship mostly on what the other person needs to build or grow or do or heal from, you're like, okay, time's up, my turn. Okay, basically. And rightfully so. You know, there's a season for everything. And so this person may also be taking advantage of that a little bit. There's like, how do I want to say this? A little bit of enabling going on here, a little bit of victimhood or martyrdom. You know, sometimes when we have gotten a little too comfortable being in a position of lack, we could start to feel like, I'm just a baby, come and take care of me. And it's like, all right, it was never cute, but I was tolerating it for a little while. And people can very easily forget, especially if there's a dynamic between you and this other person in the relationship where you tend to be the therapizer, the parent, the captain of the ship. Okay. In general, if that tends to be your role, this can really take a turn. So I think we're done. All right. And I think we need to either get moving with that, or you're going to have to sort of drop the hammer. Okay. Make a statement about where the boundaries are set and what the new judgment is, the ruling on this. Okay. And it's a fact. It's not open for discussion. It's not something that can be compromised. It is what it is. But it's time to be putting the focus, okay, back onto you is how this feels. Now, for some of you, could that be reversed? Of course it could. So if you take it the other way, flip it. Time's up on that, okay? If you need extra tools, go get them for yourself, okay? But what's a good way to say this? Like, don't take advantage, or don't rest on your laurels. Okay, now, the other group of you where I feel like you are open to something new. A lot of you may have new dates coming in. It's like being asked on a date, or I'm asking these dates. I have dating activity coming in between the 2nd and the 3rd week, and then between the 3rd and which just feels like a lot of fun. So I want to leave it at that. Have fun with it. Okay. A lot of people book readings with me and they're like, I had a date with this person, like, is this it? Like, relax. You just need to learn how to have a good time. You're already exerting that energy out. They can feel that. Now it's going to get weird. Just have a good time with it. Hopefully they are too, even if they seem a little stiff. Try to loosen them up by being like, oh, whatever, we're just here to have some fun conversation and I don't know, do something cool. You know what I mean? Like, treat it like a friendship, because that's essentially what it should be before it ever becomes serious dating. If you can't have a friendship, what's the rest of it's not even going to matter. So avoid level jumping. That's a good way to say that. Now, between the 3rd and the 4th week, I do have something hot, steamy, romantic. So maybe you're having a fling. Maybe you are reconnecting with an old lover, and whether you're going to turn this into a long-term relationship or not, you're definitely like hitting the sack. Maybe this is something where it's just a very irresistible energy. Okay. Maybe you are just very, very schmexy that week. Okay. And people are just like seeing you for that. Now, this can also bring, because we're talking about the root chakra, we're talking about the solar plexus area, we're talking about all this creativity coming out. This could also be a point where you could be very creative. Okay. So for you artists, for you musicians, okay, for those of you who channel, it's all sort of that really dynamic energy there. Your videos could blow up. Okay. In the area of money, resources, and investments, Capricorn, your favorite topic in life. Money, resources, and investments. Money, 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 money for Capricorns. The 3rd week. The 3rd week. Make a move. You're playing chestnut checkers. Huh. I don't know if somebody told you about this or you asked. I'm going to have to go with asked, but it's like, why did you ask? How did you know to ask that? I'm under the impression that you've been talking to advisors or mentors or other people who deal in this line of work for you, okay, with your career or with investments, okay? And you were given some pretty solid advice. You were given some accurate information about how things move, when to move them, how to do it, how to play your hand. And you're getting ready to do it, okay? So for some of you, you're getting ready to do it. You're getting ready to like invest, lock something down, get in a contract, launch a business. For others, okay, purchase property, right? For others, it's like it's about to pay off. So you already did it. I'm hearing 6 to 7 months ago for some of you. That's oddly specific. For some of you, it was like 2 years ago, but it's about to pay out. Okay, so we got a payout. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, finally, the payout is here. Now the question becomes, do I take it and take it somewhere else, or do I leave it? Do I leave it? Or a combination. So figuring out what you want to do next. I do feel like for some of you, you are either graduating, you are deciding to get a certification, you are doing some research. Again, I get entrepreneurship, business ownership. That's the second time that came up with some of you guys. So maybe I am getting ready to launch, whether you're with a partner or you're doing it independently. Maybe you're getting an investment if you were waiting for, investors to come. That's coming. And some of you are getting ready to either publish or like retire and focus more on, your side hustle. Some of you are like, I'm getting ready to sign up for school. It's like, am I seriously going to do this? I'm going to go, I'm going to lock in. I'm going to get my degree. I'm going to do this. And it's like, wow. Okay. For some, it feels medical. For some, it feels more business. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Lots going on there. Okay. Very good. Very good. So that's a lot of investment stuff. Now, hidden obstacle or general theme. Is there a hidden obstacle or general theme for Capricorns? Is there a hidden obstacle or a general theme? Don't move so fast you burn out. I don't think I'm talking about physically, but for some of you, especially if you're going on vacation or you're traveling at all, or you're doing like a work trip, that can really take a toll. When you're on the road or you're flying a lot and it's like staying at the hotel and it's like, I don't know, it's too hot, it's too cold, it's, just everything's different. It could sometimes just hit you like a ton of bricks. Be mindful that whether there's a lot going on literally or there's a lot going on just mentally and energetically. Okay, based on the things we saw earlier, you could hit a point of like burnout or stagnation because you're not protecting yourself from those elements enough. You're not creating enough downtime, or like when I go on these road trips, I'm like on the circuit, working the circuit, and it goes on months and months and months on end. When I come home, I protect fiercely my time. Don't come here. Don't knock on the door. I'm not texting anyone back. It's me and my cat. You know what I mean? I'm eating healthy food. I'm getting off road food. I am, you know what I mean? I am just taking at least a few days to just heal, to heal. You could also need to shut your brain off. Okay? I'm done thinking about this thing. I put in the time. I'm done thinking about it. So don't let your mind run away and then drain your energy. All right, Capricorns. Wow, looks good. Have a wonderful July. Thank you so much for being here. Aquarius. Aquarius is next. Aquarius. Love and relationships for Aquarius, July 2026. Love and relationships. You look like a fairy, you look like a fairy. She was a fairy the second week going into the third week, and someone's trying to net you, catch you, lock it down. And you're like, fairies don't, I keep hearing like fairies don't fly. I don't even know what that means. Fairies don't fly. It's like you're trying to convince this person that you weren't trying to fly away. It's almost like you're lying. I don't know if you're lying to them, you're lying to yourself, both. Okay. I'm not sure what's going on here. Now you could be on the receiving end, okay, of this, or it's you, doing this and someone else's. But I think that it's important to know yourself. Okay. It's important to know where your line is drawn. And this is too much human interaction. This is too much investment. This is too much relationship. This is locking me down too much. This isn't allowing me to be me. This isn't allowing me to think. This isn't allowing me to grow. I'm suffocating. Okay. It's important to know where that line is. And that boundary line, really can't be crossed by you, by them. It needs to be an agreement and understanding, or this isn't the right fit for you. This isn't the right person for you. And for those of you who have invested in something and you're already locked in, it can be hard to back that bus up, but you may be identifying, I'm smothered. I need X, Y, and Z. I need more. I want to go over here. I want to explore this. I want to dance in the rain. And you got somebody over here who's like, I have your raincoat. It's raining. Come in from the rain. You're like, I can't do this anymore. I think that you are starting to recognize, okay, or again, this could be the other person, that this isn't fitting. Okay. And that's okay. I think that everyone just needs to be honest in that situation. For those of you, I do have some of you in a locked in situation. where you guys could be talking a lot about, for a lot of you, you could actually be with another Aquarius or another water sign, or maybe a Sag. That tends to work, where it's like, so we're both all over the place. So it works. But it could be that you are talking about a big investment, like the two of you getting together, investing some money in something, whether it be like a boat, a trip, okay, a cruise. It could also be like a business, okay, or investing in a larger property or something, a relocation to a bigger city. Something's going on, or out of the city. Now, for others, those of you who are single or dating, it feels like in the 3rd to 4th week, you're encountering someone who holds your attention. I heard intrigues you. So someone may be enticing you. You may feel very much like you want to invest with this person. You want to see where it could go. You want to understand more about their mind. You guys seem to talk a lot about, there's a lot of intellectual stimulation there, but there's also sort of this like ET. I don't know if you're talking about aliens, you're talking about like, more philosophical or spirit. I don't know what category I even want to put that in. It's just other things. It's not just like intellectual. It's like the possibilities of the universe. You could talk about this, and this person doesn't like run off or get bored of that. It just rolls. It just rolls. It keeps rolling. So you could really be, I almost heard like meeting your match, there could also be quite a lot of chemistry there. So for some of you, this could just end up being a friend, or maybe you friend zone it because you're like, this is valuable. I don't want to screw this up. Let's just keep it as friends. For others, this could end up being romantic. Okay. Maybe something more long-term. And if you want to just leave it as a fling, it was one heck of a fling. Probably it's not a fling. It's probably going to come back around. I don't think this one's going anywhere. It's really interesting. So there's a contract here. You could try to leave it at that, but this isn't going anywhere. So this person will be, showing up, probably literally in your life, definitely in your mind, definitely in your dreams, a little haunting. Okay. So we want to play our hand wisely here. Okay. Honor it for what it is. It is a contract. It is significant, and we should treat it as such. Now, in the area of money, resources, and investments for Aquarius, money, resources, and investments for Aquarius, money, resources, investments. The 2nd week, the 3rd week, some of you have money coming in the 2nd week, like a check, an inheritance, something being written out, a settlement, something court order working in your favor, government, something cut, here's your portion, your payout. Could this be a promotion? If it's a promotion, it doesn't feel like the work is like 100 times worse for a nickel. You know what I mean? If it's a promotion, it definitely comes with the pay. And it's almost like the work decreases is the best way I can explain that. And then for some of you, it's just a pay raise. Okay. For others, I feel like I'm toward the 4th week, the middle of the 4th week. There could be an opportunity for you to look at your investments, including where you live, residency, and looking at your investments in terms of career, where you're working, where you're investing a lot of your time. It doesn't have to be your main thing. It could also be a side hustle. Okay. But you're wondering if it's time to turn the lights out. You're wondering if the lights are going out. Okay. It's like this flickering light. And you're like, is it going out? Is it time? I think it's time, okay, to move away from some things, to move on to some other things. And you're just allowing that to come into your reality and embrace it and figure out what that means from here. Now it's going to be time to strategize, okay, as we go forward. Is there a hidden obstacle or general theme? Hidden obstacle or general theme for Aquarius? Hidden obstacle or general theme? Don't carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. Remember, you're not God. Don't overreach. Get that monkey off your back. Take that sack of bricks and lay it down. If you have regrets, if you have loss, if you have grief, if you have fears, if you're overreaching in any situation, okay, it's time to lay it down. It's almost like you're shedding the old you. Okay, leave it behind. You can't fly with all that weight strapped onto your wings. You can't. So put it down. That really seems to be peaking around the second week. All right, thank you, Aquarius. Have a wonderful July. We're going to move on last but certainly not least to Pisces. Pisces. I need a drink by the time I get to Pisces. My God. Where are my Pisces? Give me a shout out here in the comment section. Is this helpful? I know this is future predictive stuff. Thank you for the hearts on TikTok, but is any of this already making sense to any of you? Can you give any testimony on this? Also, I want to hear from you guys over the course of the month as things unfold. Please do let me know in the comment section how this resonates. What happened? Okay, and if you guys want me to, I'm like grunting, turning into an animal. If you guys want me to start doing these bi-weekly, let me know. They are a bit of an investment. Okay, Pisces. We are about, after Pisces, I'm getting to your Q&A. So if you haven't already done so, drop your $10 donation and your question. They are unlimited tonight. Also, don't forget, tomorrow is the Love and Relationships show. So you can start getting your early questions in now for that. Any type of relationship, any type of question. And it is going to be unlimited, but do include the first name or the initials of whoever you're referring to. All right, Pisces. Pisces, July 2026. Love and relationships for Pisces. Love and relationships. The third week, you've got like a closed throat chakra. It's like, I got a frog in your throat. You have a frog in your throat. There's something you're struggling to say in between the second and the third week, but predominantly the third week in love and relationships. Now, between the third and the fourth week, it comes up with money. So you have a throat chakra issue the whole month in a couple different areas. You're going to want to pay attention to that. Okay. Don't forget you control these things. What is a closed throat chakra? Well, it means A, you're either not speaking your truth, or B, you did and it was disrespected. So now you have to go set a boundary, or you have to go say it again, or walk away. Okay. It depends. Everyone's different, of course. So love and relationships, you have a frog in your throat. There's something you are either not saying or you're afraid to say. Some of you could be on the receiving end of this. So there could be someone who's really having a difficulty in expressing themselves with you, but you know they are like trying to. This does feel romantic if I didn't explain that. And for those of you that are on the receiving end of this, you're just sort of watching. You're just like, yeah, I mean, it's not my job to encourage you to speak. So I am respectfully, staying in my lane, and I'm giving you a little space, but I can't help you with that part. And for those of you who are struggling to say it, I don't know what else to say other than off like a Band-Aid. You're going to have to spit it out. It does feel karmic, and my ear is ringing. I just went deaf in the left. So this could be karmic, if I didn't already say that, which is about lessons in growth. And karmic lessons often have deadlines. So this has to be done within a specific time frame, in order for it to be effective. So there is a timestamp on it. I also, going deaf in the left, this can mean that you guys in a love partnership, whether this is something you're already committed to or this is new, this could be coming up in the beginning of the second week and then resurrecting between the third and the fourth week, probably in the weekend dip, Thursday to Sunday. You could be reaching a point where there needs to be some type of contract negotiated or like locked in, a contract made. And what I mean by that is there needs to be some type of mutual understanding about what both people are willing to give, how much they want to invest, what the longer term goals are, what's the understanding here, so that it's not like, I don't know, I have a lot of feelings here. It's like, who cares? I mean, that, we have to know what's the game plan here is basically what this feels like. Is this compatible? So a conversation on the logistics, okay, not just the emotions, may be required. And there could be a recognition that there's been a lot of immaturity. Some of you could have an ex returning or trying to return, or you're looking at the history of a locked in relationship that isn't working, or a literal ex. And it's like you're looking at it and seeing it as very immature. When the light shines on it, you know, when the curtains are up and you're on stage and it's time to perform and the lights are shining on the actors, you know, sometimes you see things in such a way where it's like, this is nothing but a performance. This has been nothing but a performance. It's not real. There's no depth. You know, this isn't real. This is an illusion in some way. And that, so it could be based on immaturity or the final recognition that there's a lack of growth. Okay, lack of support, a lack of maturity there, basically. And there's also some talk with you guys of family relationships coming to a bit of a head, primarily in the third week, the middle of the third week, but possibly for some of you in the fourth week, where it's like, I don't know, drama, like cars breaking down, or I need help with this, or this came out of nowhere, or a change in schedule, a different agenda from what I thought we were going to have, you know, and I would also just say, be careful for those of you who are dealing with family where you feel stuck, because we've got this closed throat chakra coming up again, where it's like you must speak your truth, whether this be with like a parent, an elder, you know, a relative. For some of you, I guess maybe it even could be your child, like setting a boundary, but or saying like, I'm not going to overreach or help you with that, because I feel like at this point it's enabling, standing on your own 2 feet, you know, but it feels like it's hard. It's like it's hard for you to set a boundary in this. It's also very possible some of you are having to have a hard communication with someone, and it's like, it's not hard because you haven't said it, or it's not hard because you don't know how to say it. It's hard because they're not listening. They're not listening. They're not receiving. It's like round and round and round and round we go, like a dog chasing its tail, or like, I'm gonna go around this mountain again. At some point you have to decide, I'm done speaking. I've spoken my truth. I'm done engaging with that, because they just are how they are. They're never going to get it because they don't want to, right? Okay, no one's an extension of you. Keep that in mind. In the area of money, resources, and investments. Money, resources, and investments for Pisces, July 2026. Money, resources, investments. Feels like between the third and the fourth week, you could be having a difficult time speaking your truth about your money, or you may be feeling as though money and resources are causing a bit of conflict for you in terms of what you want. Who are you really? Where do you want to go? Where am I headed? Am I doing the right thing? I'm getting a lot of questions with you Pisces this month about fulfillment. Is this part of my life contract? Am I on the right path? How the hell do I do this? What's next? You know, what does this mean? And so it's like, look, I'm going to plug. Okay, this may be a good time for you to get a life contract reading with me, or, you know, get a good astrologer who could show you your birth chart and like what direction you're supposed to be going, or a good numerologist who could read your numbers. They're all three are identical, but you need a better sense of direction here, at least a little more confirmation that what you feel, this fire in your belly, is accurate. And here's a shortcut for you. If you've been feeling as though you need to invest more seriously in something you have a passion for, and less in traditional mainstream work that makes you look, I don't know, credible, okay, gives you medical coverage, you know, feeds your retirement fund. I mean, it is time. Okay, it just is. Also in the area of money, resources, investments, around the second week, but it's really the first going into the second for most of you. There could be an investment you need to make, whether it be with like the house, upgrades to the house, roof, siding, possibly the car. But I was going to say like larger appliances and things like this. For those of you working where you have like machinery, okay, it could be a machinery. For some of you, could also be like a new computer, a new phone, right? Like if I didn't have my phone, my whole business would fall apart. I have to have a phone that works like a computer. And if it's going to cost me $1,500, that's what it's going to cost. But I cannot downgrade. There are some things you can't chintz on, and this isn't a month to chintz, okay? Where you need to be investing wisely in things that you work with actively, okay, on a regular basis, and really feed the larger resource base. In the area of hidden obstacles or general theme, is there a hidden obstacle or general theme for Pisces. Pisces, hidden obstacle or general theme. I heard get out of your own way and get out of your own head, especially in the second week. It's like you're talking to yourself negatively, or you're saying to you're making things harder than what they have to be. If you find yourself talking negatively to yourself, or you need to reparent that inner voice, be kinder to yourself, more supportive of yourself, feed your inner child. Say to yourself, hey, that's my friend. I don't like how you're talking to her. I don't like how you're talking to him. That's my friend. Okay. Talk to yourself that way. And maybe a time for more affirmations, or like you're looking in the mirror. I'm seeing that Saturday Night Live skit where he's like, gosh darn, people like me. I don't know what that is. It was a little bit before my time, but he was freaking hilarious. Stuart? No, what is Stuart's the other thing? I don't know. Anyways, I'm seeing like you're trying to pep yourself up, but like people did like him. I liked him. I was softly, you know what I mean? I remember it. It's like you are likable, you are lovable, you are worthy. And so stop putting so much pressure on yourself to be more or better or more efficient or do more than, it's really unnecessary. Okay. And I think you're really getting sick of your own self. I think you're getting sick of this inner dialogue that you have with yourself that's a little bit of a bully. And so this is really peaking between the first and the second week. And you would be the hidden obstacle if you don't do this. It's old, it's tired, it's done. Put it to bed, put it to rest, create a new inner dialogue, okay, for yourself. Very cool. All right. Thank you, Pisces. Have a wonderful July. Let's go ahead and get into this Q&A. I am so hungry. I'm fasting and I am like, I don't know if you guys can hear my stomach. It's getting ridiculous. Where are we? How are we, Diana? Okay, wow. How many do we have? Can you let me know? Just ballpark. See if I need to go to the restroom. First up is Edgar. Edgar Velardes. Okay, very good. Thank you. Edgar Velardes says, I regularly call on my joy guide for guidance to assist me when I have my sessions with my clients. Does my joy guide have any messages for me about this? Just that they're feeling that it's hard to hear. Okay. It's hard to hear. It's like, I want to say this. You may be doing it, and then there's a lot of talking. There's a lot of thinking. There's a lot of left brain activity, logic. There's a lot of there's a lot. And then they aren't really being heard. So what they would like to see you do more is retrieve the information before and retrieve the information after. So it's almost like one session with a client becomes 3 sessions, because I have my intro session with my joy guide and it's predictive about what is going to come up. And then I have the session, and then I have the follow-up session with the joy guide to advance anything. Okay. Look at some completion here. I think it's really important also to pay attention to, and here's what they want to make clear. It's not that you should be like working all the time, or you should be pondering things all the time and opening up to, messages about a client all the time. However, you may start to see in the next 2 to 4 months, with this peaking in about 6 months out from now, and a division line between the 6th and 7th month. So 7 months out from now, things with this become completely different. And it is a level up, but you may find that you're having more psychic insights about your clients, and that could come through left ear ringing for you. Okay. Or tinnitus in general, I guess, and then you get a little bit of a download on the client. So your joy guide isn't going to be able to do as much maybe in the session as much as it's going to be coming from outside the session. And now you're training your brain to psychically receive the information as it becomes relevant. So maybe the client's not even there. You understand what I'm saying? And you're like, okay, I'm getting a message. What is this message coming through my ears ringing? And it's like about a client. And it's like, okay, that's interesting. I get that sometimes for my clients. I'll just, like, all of a sudden they'll pop in my head and I'll be thinking of them. And I'm like, I don't remember their readings. I couldn't tell you a single thing. I probably half time couldn't even really tell you their name, but they pop in my head, and then, they're booking the very next day. So there are connections being made here, and it will get deeper. Okay, and more detailed and accurate. Very interesting. Thank you, Edgar. We are going to move on to the next one. Who do we have next? Next up is Deborah Rose. Deborah Rose said, my question, bunch of girls start drama and make up lies to turn people against each other. What to do? Is this happening to you, Deborah? Oh, at work. Oh, that makes more sense. Okay. Deborah, so there are a bunch of girls. Well, first of all, just be careful what table you sit at, okay? So it really is, sadly, I'm looking at people, and men are worse than women, but I'm looking at people in their, late 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s, and they are catty and ridiculous. And I thought, hopefully, when I was a kid, we'd be leaving this behind in middle school. Nope, apparently not. So, first things first, think of everything as a lunch table, the middle school lunch table, the high school lunch table, right? There is a desire to outcast anyone who will not conform. There is a desire to outcast anyone who is neurospicy or on the spectrum or has a lot of autonomous thinking or is authentic, meaning they have the opportunity to move into greater leadership or power positions typically because of that. So these are the people who get attacked. There is also the conformity where if you don't join the clique, if you don't join the herd, if you don't become one of the sheep, right, then you could be the one who gets ostracized next. So there's that element going on there. So it does feel like the most important thing for you to do is to be careful what tables you sit at. And what I mean by that is that if people are talking, if people are being a menace, even if it is just like gossip, they're not attacking anyone outright. At that moment, be careful to get up from that table. Don't sit at that table. Have your exit strategies ready at all times, so that you can be prepared, to leave or cut off those types of conversations. I think as far as you're concerned, if this is something, people are doing to you, I think it's going to be really important that you are learning how to use blocks and reversals and to also tune things out. Like, you don't have to care. It only really becomes something that you full on have to address when, you have enough evidence to go to HR or they're threatening your position and you could get fired. Of course, you're gonna have to fight back in that type of scenario. I don't really see a lot of that going on here. So we're gonna go with the other route, which is ignoring, blocking, and reversals. Okay, I've done quite a few shows free on YouTube on blockings, reversals, even lately. Okay, so you may want to search those, but essentially, blocking is deciding that before you even enter into the workspace, you have like a titanium eggshell around you or a brick wall, and you renew that every 3 to 4 hours so that they can't get in. Okay, no one intending harm can enter here. They probably won't even come and try to talk to you or mess with you. But it's really in the bindings and the reversals that things get real good. So sending the energy back toward the person and binding them in a ceremony if you need to. So if they're attacking you, you can bind like their tongue, or, if they're typing a lot of things, bind their hands. If they're coming at you all the time, bind their feet. I mean, you have to, you have to be a little creative with it. But binding, blocking, reversals, okay, these things work like a charm for a reason. Okay, absolutely. Thank you, Deborah. We're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? Carly Elizabeth. Okay, Carly Elizabeth. Carly says, I want to know what comes through for my moving situation. Okay, so that's just like, just wide open, no specific address, no timeline, no question specific. Okay, that's really vague. Let me just see what comes up. Carly's moving situation. Feels like it gets intense. Feels like 3 to 4 weeks it gets intense. So there could be something happening here with movement where it's like time restriction, time constraints. Like we have to do this now. Now everything is shifting at that time. And it feels like you're going to have outlets and answers, okay, that you need. So you can transition. I do feel things working out in your favor, and I have you being happier with the situation than maybe you thought you were going to be, okay, or happier than what you are now. I'm also hearing 2 weeks after, you're feeling as though you are being restricted. So there could be a male involved, and you're looking at the male and you're wanting them further away from you. Okay, like I'm feeling restricted by this male energy, and you could be really identifying that while this may not be the end all be all for you, you know, this move, this transition, it is putting you on the track. Okay, I heard a fast track to where ultimately you want to be. And so you could be taking that far more seriously for the upcoming 2 years. And I wouldn't be surprised also if there's another move shortly after. So let's say you take the route where you decide to transition to one spot and then transition again shortly after. That could also work here. Okay, so we have an option for direct, we have an option for 2 steps, and then a few years down the road, we're looking at something bigger. Okay, more serious. That's what it looks like to me. But yeah, between 2 to 3 weeks, and it's like movement. Let's go. And I don't really feel like that's, yes, you have choices and options in that you have your free will, but it feels like it's happening. Okay, so it's really like destiny charted. Like that's what's going to happen. I don't want to say to you, okay, but with you. So move along with that. Be prepared for that. All right, thank you, Carly. We are going to move on to another one. My back is killing me. I can't sit here anymore. There's no chair in the world that could fix sitting for hours on end. What do we have next? Deborah said, yes, I forget to renew the energy every 3 hours. Yeah. Yeah, you have to do that. So a lot of people talk about with blocking exercises, put a bubble around you. That's a bubble is, I mean, in a mild situation, like you're going to a family dinner or something and you're okay and cool with everybody, but you don't want to absorb everyone's energy. A bubble can work for maybe 2 hours, you know, at best. But in any toxic situation, we need to do better than the bubble, and we need to renew it constantly. You know, it starts to wear off when you start to get irritable, or you feel dysregulated, or you start to feel like you're going to drop. Like, I'm very, very tired. Okay, it wore off. You just need to go renew it. Okay, what do we have next? Next up is Jessica Graham. Jessica Graham says, hi, Ivy. Hey, Jessica. I'd like to know if there is something good coming my way career-wise. Okay, career for Jessica. Jessica Graham, is there something good coming up for her in career? Well, you have a level up opportunity. I mean, this is being offered to you and you could take it, you could not. I don't know if it's 100% in alignment with everything that you want to do, but I definitely feel like it's beneficial to you. And I definitely feel like it helps you to network, and it definitely helps you with future partnerships if you want it. You may also start to feel like you're outgrowing the sandbox. You may be feeling like with, you know, your career or the town or within the framework, you know, within which you work. It's like, I'm kind of outgrowing all of this. And so I want to say with your career, be open to new things, be open to, you know, maybe even like new titles, expansion, certifications, research, which kind of goes in alignment with what I was saying. You know, this is offered you, and is it exactly right? I don't know about that for you, but it definitely is adding, okay, to your like repertoire. It's bringing some fresh energy, some fluidity at the very least, and that's needed, period, point blank. It is. So yeah, we can work with that 100%. I do think ultimately what you're trying to do is to get to the top where you're calling the shots, you're calling your level of freedom, the schedule, the creativity, even who you work with, how you work with them. And I think you're moving into that more in the next 2 years. So it just feels like, I don't want to say, I'm hearing rapid change, but That's coming from spirit, where spirit's talking about rapid change again and again and again and again. And we keep going, 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 going. So a couple years down the road, you're looking back and like, all that happened really fast. I'm actually feeling it psychically, like just gradual improvements, gradual leveling up. So much so that you almost don't realize it. Or some days you're even like, is anything moving? You know, is this right? Is this going? And then it's like, oh, it definitely is. No, it definitely is. So yeah, I think you have all that to look forward to. I think you could work with this energy a little bit more, like I said. I also think that there could be somebody coming in who wants you to sort of, I heard jump ship. It's almost like they're saying like, jump ship, come over here and work with me. Jump ship, come over here and work with me. Be careful for people who have ulterior motives, whatever they might be, okay? Because your goal is to progress your career and to, you know, increase your resources and to be able to grow your finances so that you have more trajectory, greater sense of foundation. I don't have to think about this anymore. Like I know where it's going. You know what I mean? That's your goal. So just be careful with offers that are coming in where they could have their hands in many pots. They could have ulterior motives. Sometimes people see you and they're like, this could be good for me. And it's like, yeah, but is it good for me? Okay. So all that glitters is not gold. Don't buy into it without a contract, dotting the I's, crossing the T's, making sure that you raise your prices, you add a little tax, and the majority of the contracts working more in your favor. Okay. So I think that can happen here, but not if you get into it willy-nilly. So be careful with risks for the next, I would say 6 to 9 months. But yes, it feels like money flowing in, money flowing in. Okay. So there could also just be like regular money coming in and increasing for you in such a way where you're like, okay, good. Okay, this is solid, this is stable, and this is better than what it was. So I feel good about that for the next 10 months as well. Yeah, you also seem to be more recognized. I mean, I guess that was sort of obvious in what I said, but like you are being in general more seen and heard. Very nice. Moving on, who do we have next? This is last call. If you guys have not gotten your questions in, now is the time. Okay, if you need to book a private reading with me, I do work internationally. You can go to Ivy Rivera, psychicmedium.com. And who do we have next? Next up is Edgar. Okay, another one for Edgar. What messages does my deceased grandma, Mama Chela, want me to know right now? Okay, Edgar for Mama Chela. I wrote grandma, I'm just trying to write Edgar and I can't. Whatever. I don't even need that. Okay, Mama Chela, what do you want to say to him? Loyalty. Watch out for loyalty. Right now is a time where you are supposed to be examining your relationships. This is work related, but this could also be friendships at work. So who is loyal to you, given the amount of loyalty you're willing to put in? Understand you're only going to get back out what you're willing to put in, but don't let anyone shortchange you. And this is a period of time to examine, I would say for the next 2 weeks, but already feels like you're in this, where it's time to examine where you're putting your time, attention, affection, energy, conversation, insight, okay, love, affection, attention of any kind, and asking, am I getting back out? Okay, am I getting back out from that in the way that I want to and as much as I need or desire? And don't shortchange yourself. If in the past you've had a way with people of being like, well, that's okay, it's all right, you know, unconditional love, it'll come back to me, the universe is good, what you give out, you get back. No, okay, we're not 8, you know, these are grown-ass people. If these people aren't giving back, you pull back. That's what you do. It's not like, whatever, it'll all work out. So here's a better way to say this. You're leaving a passive sort of mentality in regards to loyalty, money, relationships, your time, okay, your attention, and you're making sure people earn it. That's what she wants you to do. Just making sure that they earn it. Okay. That includes situations or people that have been like living rent free in your head. It's like, you don't deserve to be up there. You didn't earn that. You can't be in there, you know? So just control it better, because it always starts with the thoughts. Okay. And if that's not corrected, nothing else will be. The actions don't matter as much as the thoughts. Okay. Actions will always follow where the thought goes. She loves you very much, but yeah, it's time to focus on loyalty. Interesting. Okay. So there could be some new information coming in those areas for the next 2 weeks. Thank you, Edgar. Like I'm choking. Okay. Let's move on. Do we have another one, or are we at time? Another one, Janet Gomez. Janet Gomez. Where's the question? Is this just a general read? I have a date of birth. I don't have a question. All right. Okay. These are for questions, you guys, tonight, but okay. Janet Gomez, just a general reading. You may feel like you need to cut something off right now. You may feel like you need to cut somebody off. This could be someone you have shared resources with. You may also understand this as a male who goes from being very mature to being very boastful or very pushy or very entitled, right? Very privileged. They may go from being like, I don't know if I want to call this weaponizing competence or like a wee little baby, you know, to like, well, my word is the final word, you know, my way or the highway. And you're like, who are you kidding? So it feels like you're confronting someone or a situation where you feel as though the push and pull, okay, is not in alignment with what you're willing to give, to offer. You're not willing to interact with it anymore. Okay. And this has been coming up. I feel like brewing. I'm hearing brewing the last 3 to 5 weeks. And this could be coming up in the next, 3 days or so, where there's a conversation where you're cutting somebody off or you're diminishing their power. And, sometimes when you do this, you get kickback from a person or a situation where they try to sort of throw their weight around. Well, now I'm going to throw elbows. Well, now I'm going to, and I have you just looking very much like, try it. I mean, try it. You hold no power here. I don't know, just because you were maybe giving them some space to act that way doesn't mean you are forever going to. And when you take that space away, you take their power away. And I feel you putting more time, attention, and energy on yourself. You could also be cutting some type of a cord or like a business deal or like some type of contract. No, maybe you choose to renegotiate it, but it could also be like cutting something loose or ending something I'm getting in the next 2 weeks. And it could free you, okay? Resource-wise. And I like that for you as well. This feels like freedom. I mean, it looks like some change, in the way that you address things, probably things you just didn't previously address at all, and had been tolerating. So this looks good. Thank you, Janet. And do we have another one, or are we at time? Just a reminder. Okay, Jess, you're welcome. Thank you. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I will be breaking these up into smaller clips. Please make sure you go onto my YouTube channel and support it, because YouTube is just not running my videos. TikTok isn't actually running any of my videos. This has been a problem for like a month now. So I'm struggling on some of the platforms. They're completely inhibited. I have to constantly report, and it's getting exhausting. So if you guys want to see me keep the show up, please go on and support it, especially on YouTube. Tomorrow is the Love and Relationships show. It is unlimited. So again, I sound like a broken record, but if you didn't already get your questions in, go ahead and get them in. We've had some people reaching out with like, this is when I made my payment, and reaching out to the producers and being like, this is the day I made it, and this is what time. Doesn't make you first in line. Okay. So I'm going to reiterate this tonight, and then probably again one more time tomorrow. When you guys drop a payment, I understand that you think that puts you, especially if you do it early, that it moves you up to the front of the show, but it doesn't, because a lot of people are dropping their questions and their payments days or weeks ahead of time. Okay. So just be mindful. The producers go in order by how they came in. All right. And we're all going to be patient about that. But if you want your question in early, you want to be moved up to the front of the show, get them in now. Okay. So love and relationship, any type of question, any type of relationship, do include the first name or the initials of whoever you're referring to. And I will see you guys back here tomorrow night. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. I hope everyone has a wonderful July. Thank you, Diana. Thank you, Spirit. I'll see you guys tomorrow.